You're listening to the Beans and Dice podcast, a podcast about how we game.
Hey, folks, welcome to the Beans and Dice podcast, Thursday night live call-in show. I'm Carlos.
I'm Rob.
And I'm Wayne.
And we are a podcast about
How we game.
That's right. Board games, that is. Pulp game, paper games, that's what we do. Thursday nights, it's all about you. It's all about how you game because the show becomes your show when you call in. I will point out
You have the call counter?
we do have a call counter, and it's behind us. Last week, we ended with...
Big zero. Do we roll this thing over? And yeah, I don't know. So,
all I know is it's been a long time since we had a goose egg for phone calls.
So we got to get a call before we can talk about a rollover. But
Yes.
yeah.
We will open up phone lines soon and hopefully get a phone call this week. The way the show works, you call in. The show is yours for the next 10 minutes or so.
Yeah.
You control the topics. We usually start it off with a topic of some sort. Tonight, we're going to talk a little bit about my first play of Underwater Cities. So Rob got to teach kind of the first impressions.
Yeah.
We'll go through our This Week in Gaming, also known as The Twig, the
Twig.
TWIG. Our OGG, Other Geeky Goodness.
Yep.
And then we're going to check, we'll also check the news channel on the Discord, to see what the folks at home want us to talk about.
Yep.
So if you have a news article or a topic that you want us to give our thoughts and opinions on, you can post it in the news channel of the Beans and Dice Discord. Or you can email us at beansanddice@gmail.com. You can post in our Discord. You can always comment in the show. And, yeah, that's us. That's what we do.
Yeah. So again, you can take over the show. We'll prime the pump here a little bit. We'll talk a little bit, probably about 30 hours roughly, give or take 10, 15 minutes. But we'll talk a little bit about a couple of topics probably, and then we'll open it up. You don't have to talk about what we're talking about when you call in. You take over the show, so you talk about whatever you want to.
Did you mean to say 30 hours?
30 hours, 30 minutes, 30 minutes, 30 hours. We'll talk 30 hours.
Give or take 10
30
or 15
hours,
minutes.
10 or 15 minutes.
It is Rob.
30 hours, 15 minutes.
I'll be brief.
Yeah, short. We'll stretch it. Anyway, so you want to kick off with Underwater Cities?
Yes, let's talk a little bit about Underwater Cities. Underwater Cities, Rob, what is it?
This is it's everything, right? This, I guess one of the things about this is it does smash together a bunch of different mechanisms, mechanics. You've got a tableau area where you're playing some cards out. When it came out compared to Terraforming Mars quite a bit, because there is kind of a feeling of tags and putting out a little tableau of cards to try to trigger and do things with. You've got an underwater civilization board, city board, that you're building out as you play. You're building these little domed city areas, connecting them with tunnels, and then building one of three types of different buildings around them that will give you resources during the three production eras of the game. You play through, it's a worker placement game, so you're placing workers. Jim had 3D printed some nice little submarines for me, so we're using those in the game as our workers, but each person has 3 workers. No more, no less, ever. You don't ever add workers or subtract workers, but each round of the game, there's 10 rounds. You're placing your 3 workers in order. There is blocking and the limited number of spaces on the board. It does scale. There's a 1 to 2 player side of the board, a 3-4 player side of the board, but you're placing out to different areas to do actions to either allow you to gather resources or to build out your player board. One of the cool mechanisms about the game is trying to build up. You have 3 colors of cards in your hand of cards. Usually, you're always, I guess, you're starting your turn with 3 cards. If you ever have more at the beginning of your turn, you discard down to 3. But there's 3 primary colors in the game: green, red, and yellow. And then on the board, the worker placement spots are colored equally: green, red, and yellow. And if you play a card that matches the same color of the spot that you place your worker, you get to do both the thing that's on your card as well as the thing that's in the worker placement spot. If you ever really just need to do that thing that's on the board and you can't match up the color or choose not to match up the color, you can just discard the card. You still have to play a card every turn, but discard the card and then just do what's on the board. So it's kind of at a handicap or at a penalty, but sometimes you may just have that thing you got to do, and if you don't have the cards for it, you got to play those out. So you got resource collection, you've got tableau building, you've got hand management, you've got worker placement. What am I missing here? This does a little bit of everything. Pretty close.
Yeah, I think that's it's a lot. It's definitely a lot.
It is a lot. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 kind of primary resources. You've got 3 different types of buildings that produce the resources. I know Carlos has talked about money being tight in this, and that is a normal thing. I got lucky that I kind of got some stuff that worked to give me money, but then I'm tending to be resource poor from time to time, but I've got the money, so it's an interesting dynamic. There's some cards that a couple of objectives that are random that we put out that give you some bonuses for the first person who do some things in the game. And then there's an area on the board with some, they're different every time. You pull out 6 cards at random, place them up for in-game scoring. Those 6 cards never refill. So as you get to midpoint of the game or a little further, people are trying to grab those cards depending on what they're building their little underwater city to do and trying to produce those extra in-game scoring points. But yeah, I mean, I've talked about this game before. I like it a lot. It made pretty high up on my board. I know it was in my top 20 of the year last year. I can't remember if it cracked. I know it was in the top 10 when I originally ranked it. I think it may have fallen down. It was probably somewhere around 10-ish. I could go back and look by the end of the year. But I played this for the first time. It was either last year or the year before, and then I immediately bought it, which is a little unique for me. I don't tend to do that. I'm pretty picky about my collection. But it was a game I played. I liked it right away, and then I've played it probably 4, 5, 6 times since then. So
we got the 2018 game, 3.58 weight on BGG,
Okay.
8.0 rating.
Yeah.
It is the 49th overall game.
all
now,
right.
all
So it's in
time.
the top
yeah.
50. Wow.
Vladimir Suchi game,
Yep.
41st base strategy game, so it's fairly highly rated. Yeah.
Yeah, I like it quite a bit. These guys playing for their first time, I believe, for both of you, and we are almost exactly halfway through the game. It was a little slow. The teach is a little bit. There's you got to learn the iconography, kind of learn the symbols and what they do. I stumbled through it a bit because it has been a little while since I played, but once we got going, it started moving a little bit. But it's definitely a thinky game. You said what, a 3 point something on the
3.58.
3.58, so not super heavy, but
Yeah, I think the iconography is probably why.
yeah,
You know,
that
and
could
then
be.
like that, just the remembering to trigger cards and the sequencing of stuff can
Yeah.
be tricky. So
Yeah, it is a good amount to remember. You got the tableau thing, and so I'm constantly staring at my tableau trying to figure out, all right, I got this ongoing infinite ability. How do I trigger that, over and over and over again? So I'm trying to trigger it, and then I'm trying to remember all the other little things that that my area does, my tableau does. So it's one of those you got to keep track of a lot of different little things. So I think Wayne used the word fiddly.
yeah, I don't know if fiddly is the right term. It's got to be a different. It's
Yeah.
really just kind of like memory,
Right,
Like,
right, yeah.
remembering to trigger things. If you have things that don't, a bunch of my cards all triggered when I built a specific type of building. So that's pretty easy to remember. Like, okay, if I'm building a laboratory, I know I've got like 10 cards that are going to trigger.
Yeah.
But it's having that one-off card where when you do this, you randomly get something extra that you kind of forget about a lot. And I think
Yeah.
that's probably the negative I have for games like this and even Terraforming Mars. You always have to remember all the little things that you can do in a turn, and forgetting them is not a big deal unless you're super competitive. Like I missed a couple of resources here and there, I missed a couple coins here and there. It probably didn't make or break the game.
And we played pretty loose too. I mean, if
Yeah.
you remember and you're half a round behind, it's like, oh
Yeah.
yeah, go ahead, take
Yes.
the point, take
Yeah.
the thing. So
Carlos
And
has
I
done
appreciate that.
at least
Yeah.
3 or 4 times in the first 3 or 4 turns.
give him a hard time.
Just
He's fixing cameras over there.
But,
Well, double duty, engineer and playing at the same time.
Yeah.
There you go.
But yeah, this was, like I say, pretty high on my list. I'm surprised to hear that's in the top 50. I guess I hadn't looked in a while.
yeah,
but,
49. That's
yeah.
pretty high.
That's pretty good. So
I don't think I've ever played a Vladimir Suchi game before. Have you?
I'll hit the button and see what else he's done. I don't know off
think
the
I
top of my
have. Let's
head.
see.
So yeah.
So some of
Vladimir
his top
Suchi.
ranked games, right? His highest ranked game is Underwater City. We got Praga Put
Last
Regni,
Will.
I played that.
Last Will, Pulsar, 2849, Woodcraft.
played
I played
Woodcraft,
I played
yeah.
almost all those.
I've not Shipyard.
No.
Nope. But Last Will, Prodigals Club, Postsource 2049, Underwater Cities, Prava Regni, Messina 1347, Woodcraft, Evacuation.
Don't know
Which
that one.
Evacuation is the one where it's two planets.
Oh, you're taking people off
and
Earth to
yeah,
another-
yeah,
yeah.
to another planet. I haven't played that one, but I want to.
Yeah, that one's new.
But I played Woodcraft. I like it.
I played it. Yeah, I played Praga. That's a pretty good. I liked it the first couple times I played. Then it got a little samey. I felt so I stopped playing it. But yeah, I'm a fan.
I know we're playing with some expansion components, Rob. Is that right? Not all?
Only thing we threw in was the asymmetric starting, what do they call them, assistants. At the base game comes with everybody has the same, what they call assistants. So there's an action where you can tap an assistant once every era. And when you tap them in the base game, all you do is you just tap it for 1 credit. So it's just a way to get money. Everybody has the exact same thing. We played with the expansion ones, which there's a handful of, I'd say probably close to 10 cards. We just randomly dealt everyone 1, but it gives you some kind of benefit, a different benefit for each person for tapping the card, and then it also gives you some kind of ongoing ability for the game to make you a little more asymmetric kind of guide, maybe what you're going to do in your planning. There are the expansion, which is called, it's here somewhere, New Horizons, I think, or something like that. It adds a sideboard that has a race for some objectives, and so I didn't like that so much when I played it, and I mentioned this before, because it kind of took my focus away from this and from my player board. It added just another whole thing, another board.
Yeah, I don't know if I would want that. That's
yeah. It really kind of distracted me. I kind of like what I've got here, and then another whole thing. I know Jim really likes it. He likes the fact it gives you more interaction with each other. I mean, you are still blocking on the main board, but your personal board, you're kind of doing your own thing. In the expansion, there are some nice benefits, but they only go to the best ones. Go to whoever gets to those different waypoints first, and they get to choose the best of the benefits that's there, and then that blocks out
like a race,
right?
Yeah.
Yes, the next person who gets there gets the choice of the lesser benefits, and so it just added an extra element that I didn't feel like I needed.
Oh, so James is saying he actually dislikes those boards too.
Oh, okay.
I dislike them too.
Okay,
good
gotcha.
job.
All right, so I misspoke there. I thought he was a fan of that extra board, but it gives you one more thing to do, a little more complication to the game. But I like the focus of what's here in the base game for the most part. But I do really like the asymmetric starting abilities. I like anything.
There's not that it's not that breaking, right? They're kind of very just
fairly minor.
Yeah, fairly minor, which is good.
Mild, yeah. Cool.
Yeah, we do have the new player board, so they're double layer.
Yeah,
kind
that's
help
the
you
main
sort
reason,
everything out.
Main reason I got it. Yeah.
All with the exception of the disc that are used for the buildings.
So frustrating. Yeah.
Because they're not wooden.
No,
they're plastic disc, and they're probably a third of an inch, maybe just a hair over a quarter inch.
They're even smaller, a little smaller than little Smarties. I like the little Smartie.
Like between a quarter inch and a half inch, and like smaller than the Smartie.
A little smaller than a
Smartie. But they're so
yeah.
slick. You're supposed to stack them one on top of the other. They just slide off each other.
It'd be good if they
as much as we complained,
if they would click into each other.
Yeah, some kind of clicking or magnet,
concave
or
and convex.
Yeah,
where they,
yeah.
As much as I complained about Planet, and their mushroom stacking little trees.
Oh,
Earth.
Yeah,
that's what I'm thinking of.
I mean, the planet.
The planet Earth.
I hate you, Earth.
Yeah,
I like the. Yeah, I mean that's pretty. That's kind of nitpicky, I guess, but.
There's a lot of good thinkiness in this game, and it's keeping my mind busy to the point where I think we were like at 6:30 and we're getting going.
Oh yeah,
and
we
I'm
didn't
like,
really get going until after 7 though.
After they teach everything.
The teach.
Yeah.
We're playing, and next thing I know, Rob says to me, "It's 8:30." I'm like, "What do you mean it's 8:30?" Like,
hour and a half went by.
Oh man, it flew by because the decision points. There was only a few times where Wayne would rush his turn. He tends to do that.
He likes to go quick. Not rush,
and it's
but he's
suddenly
quick.
my turn.
Got to keep you on your toes.
Yeah.
But outside of that, I'm usually thinking and getting prepared. One of the things that I liked about this game that I wrote down in my diary, Dear Diary, is the cards, right? So you draw extra cards. Normally you start with a hand of 3. But at the start of your turn, you must discard down. This is the first time I've seen this. You must discard down to 3
usually
cards.
it's at the end of your turn.
Right.
At the end of your turn, right? But you know what that did for me? And this is great.
You have to plan out your turn, narrow things down.
Narrow your focus a little.
But not just that. I'm your ADD skittish guy, right? Like, for all I know, while you guys are taking your long turn, I'm going to go, I don't know, take a walk, and y'all got to yell at me. Usually, you got to yell at me from across the kitchen to get me back in here, right? Here, I'm sitting here thinking the whole time, oh, which of these 2 cards am I going to discard? So the entire time that it's not my turn, I'm trying to decide how do I narrow this hand down to 3. So it keeps me engaged the entire round through your whole turn because every card is good.
Well, I think the one benefit of you end your turn, you got to draw extra cards, so you have 5 or 6 cards.
Yeah.
and then you have to discard down before you start your next turn. Is as you guys are making your turns, I may have a bunch of green cards, and you guys all go green. Well, I'm just going to discard those, and I'll keep the red one instead. So it does give you a little bit more flexibility, because none of us yet have played off colors. I think you talk about that. Is like when you play a card and you go to a space, if the card color and the space color match, you get to do both. Mm-hmm. If you play off color, you don't get to do the card.
Right.
I think none of us have had that problem yet, and so I wonder if it's ever really a problem. It's pretty rare.
It's pretty rare
that you play off color, but having that extra hand allows you. Okay, well. I'm gonna discard. I got all green, and all the greens are taken. Well, I guess I'm gonna discard those and try to keep some of the other ones. So I like that. In general, the game once you get it down, once you figure out the iconography, it's pretty straightforward. I think this game, the only issue I have with this game is the issue I have even with Terraforming Mars or a lot of other things is when you get a giant tableau of cards, keeping track of what triggers when and in what order. Can just get it.
I agree.
Fiddly is not the word. It's almost just forgetfulness. Like it's like I will always miss something like that. Like or it's like we've talked about that in other games where it's like like in Tyrus of the Underdark. If you have that token that gets you an extra thing, I will
extra
always forget to buy that, but have that extra buy power. I will always forget it. Right?
Yeah.
It's just
me too.
So it's like those one little things that. Yeah, you will always forget.
And I find that slows down my turn a little bit because I am, like I said, I'm staring at my cards a lot. I'm like, all right, here's what I would think I'm going to do. But does that trigger any of my things, or am I going to miss anything? And then, like Carlos said, we're at 3 players. This side of the board is 3-player, 4-player. At 4-player, there is more blocking. I think there's probably more of a chance of needing to go off color at 4 players because it's exactly the same board. Right. The only difference is, I say exactly, there is one spot that you add in a 4-player game that allows you to duplicate one spot where someone else is. So if that's the case, if Carlos is really somewhere I need to go, I can do that. But again, I think the blocking up of that probably does lend itself more to that playing off color. Yeah. But that's an absolute. You're taking the penalty for that, so you don't want to do that.
And I think in the first turn, you guys both went before me. I went third, and you took both resource spaces right away. Yeah, and I was like, oh man, that sucks. I'm behind, right? And so. But since then, the turn order...
Oh, the groans from Wayne.
Yeah, I was like, no.
Every time we take an action, like, I
got the one I want.
But in reality, it really hasn't. I'll say this. We obviously don't know what the end game is going to be yet, but at least in what we've played so far, it hasn't seemed like the turn order has been that detrimental.
Sure.
Because I've gone dead last and still been able to do things I want to do, and I've gone first and not been able to do some after that first turn. You guys then took the other 2 actions I would want to do on my second and third turn type thing. So it happens, but there's enough other spaces in general where I think, at least in a 3-player game, you're able to find, Carlos took the build a dome space, but there's another build a dome space. Or if I don't build a dome this time, I'll do it the next round because I can do this. So there's
just kind of hang on to that card till the next round.
Till the next round. I think there's enough. I think in 4 it might be a little too. I think, granted, you've played 5 or 6 times. I think 3 is a sweet spot, probably.
I'm going to assume that just based off of the board, historicity of playing these types of games.
Right.
I find once you get to 4, the downtime gets too extensive.
Well, and the board will get, because the board doesn't expand really. You get 1 extra space for 3 extra pieces.
Yeah.
So it's going to get even tighter.
Yeah. There's definitely more blocking there.
More blocking going on.
There is a race element. So there's some goal cards that can be captured first, so you're racing to get to these objectives.
They don't give you points for the most part. I guess a couple points, but it's resources.
They give you more stuff,
nice thing. Yeah,
and
more
you
stuff.
need more stuff to do more stuff.
Absolutely, yeah.
But I think what I really like about man, I'm sorry, I said first impressions, but here they are.
Deep, yeah.
Part of what I really like is in this game, the upgrading of items isn't sequential; it's more exponential. So, like in some games where you upgrade something, it kind of gets a little better. Right here, if you can get it into its most upgraded mode, it's like superbly better than what it would be at its basic level.
Basic to advanced to second level is From second to it's like crazy.
It's really encouraging you to focus in on upgrading the stuff you have, not just spreading out on the board. Yeah. So, like, I'm really focused on upgrading all my laboratories, my farms, and my desalinization plants, because they just get so much better at the production phase. There's so few ways to make money. Like, I feel like I really need to upgrade these things in order. And then it also makes you want to not just upgrade individual buildings, But if you can get multiples of a same type upgraded around the city, like it's bananas money.
Bananas, yeah.
Or algae or resources. It's good stuff.
Yeah, looks like Ron agrees. He said he's like, I feel you. 4 players was slow.
Yeah.
So yeah, James said there are some abilities that let you get bonuses for playing off color. I'm sure, just like there's some abilities that untap,
Special ops.
But it's better when you play the same. So.
Yeah. Yeah, usually that's the way to go. And what was I going to mention? Well, we're playing, I think, fairly different. I think we're all doing well so far. I mean, it's more in the midpoint of the game. I don't think anybody's running away with it. But we are definitely playing different. Carlos had mentioned that Wayne and I are building up a lot of these ongoing kind of infinite whole game ability cards that we're putting out. You've started doing that, but early on,
because I'm starting to see the benefit that y'all are gaining.
But you were building your resource building engine over there because you were building up all of your buildings and stuff faster than.
We're still here.
We're still live?
Yeah,
Okay.
we're still live.
Yeah, anyway. So I was just saying we're playing different games so far. Halfway through, we're taking some kind of different strategies on how we're building things up. And I think it's a pretty tight race so far. I don't feel like anybody's running away with it yet. So anyway, but yeah.
No, I thank you for teaching, Rob. I know that you had to kind of refresh yourself, kind of get reacclimated to the game.
Yeah, there's a fair amount going on in this. So
I like the stages on the decks. So there's the 3 different stages, and I think that's something that someone had said. I've heard someone say about terraforming Mars, and I hate to have to bring that comparison up, but it usually gets compared to this game.
Sure.
Is that if the terraforming Mars deck was set up the way Underwater Cities, the game would be much better. So a deck where it's progressive. You got stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, and the cards that come out in those eras are proportional or the stage 1 easier to buy and give you a lot of resources.
Do some of your ground level deck building, or not deck building,
engine
but tableau building, engine building stuff. And then when you get later, they turn more into using that engine to get points. And so you'll see that as we get into the 3s, there's some more in-game scoring stuff. I think actually the only in-game scoring other than these what they call special S cards. But there's some of those in the 3rd era, and then there's just stuff that just gives you just turn in 3 steel plast and get 3 points or whatever. So you can start these resources engine that you're building now will pay off later in the game if you can get some of those cards and just start cashing stuff in for points. So yeah, I think it feels good that way, building up a thing and then changing that engine, that strategy into making it make points for you. So
let's not end the night with a goose egg.
Okay,
on the phone calls
get some calls
again
tonight, folks. Call in.
So what that means is we will be opening up the phone lines, and when we open up the phones, which they are now, the number is 618-7099. I'm trying to find the button here to put it on the screen.
Scroll that button. No, phone number.
813-618-7099 is the number. Right now we are at 0 phone calls for the evening.
Behind us there.
So right there on the call board, we got a call board now. So call in so we can put a big 1 on there and get this phone thing started. We're going to do our topics on the Twig.
The Twig, This Week in Gaming.
This Week in Gaming, TWIG. And in This Week in Gaming, things that we talk about are not just games that we've played, but we also talk about our hauls, any purchases, pre-orders, any deliveries. We also talk about any content that we consumed with regards to games. So anything gaming related, this is the segment. Rob, did you want to kick us off with a game played?
Sure. Well, I've gotten back to we got a call coming already.
Oh,
there we go. Somebody did their assignment.
Put it on the board.
Number 1.
All right, Beans and Dice Podcast. State your name. Where are you calling from?
This is Ron from Atlanta.
Ron from Ron Talks Tabletop. Going in number 1 on the board. Put it on the board. 1 call. All right, the show is yours for the next 10 minutes. What you got?
All right, so terraforming Mars. Obviously, one of those, those classics, right? Evergreen.
Made Bonacore rich.
It's a great game.
Yeah, has spinoffs and
Monica Rich.
got the dice game. You've got the
You know,
Ares Expedition. Yep.
The guy was already rich,
Yeah.
so but I recall playing 4 players in this game, and it just maybe the game didn't take forever, but like I just remember there being a very long time between my turns.
Yeah.
And the person who had this game had one of those cleaned out versions of Terraforming Mars, and they just had to play it at 4 players. And I basically got convinced to play. It was at one of the Atlanta Game Fest here. So and all those things you guys are talking about, like those little Wayne doesn't want to call them fiddly bits, but like they're I wouldn't even say it's like upkeep, because upkeep requires something that is always present and that you get to keep mind. But like I think fiddly is a good word for it.
Yeah. Yeah, fiddly. When I think fiddly, I guess I think more physical. But yeah, it's fiddly in a mental way, kind of a little bit. That there's a lot of little things to remember. Yeah. Yeah,
there's a lot of little things to remember. Exactly. And
the upkeep is Wayne's brain trying to upkeep himself on what cards he purchased 4 rounds ago.
Right. Yeah. And the thing is, like, Terraforming Mars is one of those games that board game hobbyists absolutely love, and like it's almost like it's a badge of honor to have it as one of your favorite games.
Yeah.
I resemble that remark.
Yeah, I agree.
But
I'll have to say though, it's also a really so I taught it to my wife. My wife asked me, "What's your favorite game?" And I said, "Terraforming Mars." She said, "All right, I'll play it with you." All right, sweet. I had no expectations going into that game, and because she's not a heavy gamer, she doesn't get into like the heavy Euros and stuff. We played it twice the first night. That's how much she enjoyed it. Like it's so that right there solidified in my mind. It's not just a gamer's game; it is just a good game. It's a good game.
I agree.
It feels good. Wayne's giving me a look.
No, it's a good game. I own it.
What was your play count?
Well, that was 2 players.
That was 2 players.
2, 3, 4.
Yeah, 2 players.
I think there are 2 types of gamers that like Terraforming Mars. I like Terraforming Mars. I like to play it in a somewhat fast manner, where it's like
Mitchell.
Well, not Mitch. That's maybe the street kind of gamer.
Mitchell told us they got it done in like an hour and a half.
No, I mean like a 2-hour version of Terraforming Mars. I like a 2-hour version where I am equally trying to work towards the end game goal of triggering the end game by terraforming Mars.
Not doing it right.
The name of the game, Terraforming Mars.
No, it's building cards.
Yeah,
that's the name of the game.
Like to me, building the tableau is to help terraform Mars, right? So like you guys want to just sit there for like the entire day and build up a tableau that never. You want to build what's the machine that never
Rube
ends.
Goldberg or whatever.
Just keeps going.
Perpetual motion
machine, which is fine. And I wouldn't even necessarily, if I knew I was getting into that, like if we played Terraforming Mars, I know I'm getting into that because that's the kind of game you guys play, and I'm fine with it, right? But I think that's probably the 2 different things. Like there are people who want to build that tableau that just goes on forever, and there are people who want to kind of do the other,
do it wrong.
The actual purpose of the game is Terraforming Mars.
Ron, what's the right way to play Terraforming Mars, Ron?
2-player?
Not 4 players.
Not 4 players.
Not 4.
Yeah.
Is it an engine building game, or is it a Terraforming Mars game? How do you focus in? Do you try to get to the end game trigger, or are you just enjoying your
journey?
I try to do the thing that I feel like is fun for me at the moment. So it all depends on how I'm feeling.
Okay.
So, but I would say if I had to pick one, I treat it more of as an engine building.
There you go. Right
Even
answer.
though even though the theme is cool. Although, I wouldn't mind like a Civ re-theme of this game somehow.
A Civ-themed Terraforming Mars. Yeah, that'd be interesting. I could see that.
I think they're coming out with a role-playing game.
Oh, yeah?
They are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Haven't heard that.
It's gonna be weird, like how you role play as a corporation, but I guess corporations are people now, so might as well just role play them.
Trump.
Hey, this meal.
So something else I wanted to talk to you guys about is, you remember the last time I called us, I was going to a meetup, right?
Yep.
Oh, that's right. Supposed to report back.
And you were just going as an attendee, not a host,
Not a
just
teacher.
there for the games.
Yeah.
Yep. And I went, and I made a comment in Discord about being thankful for people that know how to teach games.
Yeah.
Like, I walked into this place, and there was fresh off a separate table that had a different game where two people were upset at each other. So that was awesome. My first experience walking in, like people were kind of welcome, kind of nod, like I know which guy is the guy that like coordinates things. I don't think the guy said a word to me. And the thing is that like this was not my first time going to the meetup. So, but it has been a while, probably a couple of years, because my youngest was probably not quite a toddler the last time I went to the meetup. So I played Expeditions for the first time. It took, admittedly, it took 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
That sounds about right.
First play, yeah.
No, I think all plays. I feel like that game is long.
It's a long game.
I guess.
You feel like, yeah, because like, the only comment I got from the coordinator guys, like, he was commenting on how long that game was taking. But whatever. The thing is that, like, the guy that taught the game had metal minis and everything like that. You guys know Expeditions is not a complex game, but it's like, but the teacher of the game did not, lots of little things that you forgot about, including, I guess, this robber type character. I don't remember what the specific term was, but it's like, and then like, two of us, 4-player game, 2 of us are brand new. One had played it once before, and then the owner of the game started.
With or without expansion?
Huh?
With or without the expansion?
The Gears of Corruption.
Gears of Corruption expansion.
Gears of Corruption. So the corrupt. Okay, so is it corruption? That the corruption tiles?
No, I think the corruption tiles are already in the base game, but I think Gears of Corruption adds like
The corrupted mech.
that
right?
runs around like blocking spaces. That might be the robber thing
That
you're
must be,
talking
yeah,
about.
'cause I haven't played that.
Okay, that's what. Yes, with the expansion.
Okay. Yeah, I played it 3 or 4 times, and I haven't played it with the expansion yet. So when you said that, I was trying to remember. I was like, what am I forgetting
That's
about
what got
that?
me
But-
thinking they
Okay.
must have the
Really?
expansion.
What's
I
that?
didn't realize you played that many times already.
Yeah, I played it twice at Dice
Dice Tower with Nick when
and then
Nick bought the metal mechs.
Yeah.
played it with Jim at a meetup that the Lakeland group had.
And then we played it here
We played here
in
Okay.
studio.
Okay. Yeah. Oh
I
yeah.
think
yeah,
with
yeah,
Nick.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so. Yep.
Yeah, so I mean, Expedition seems okay. I'm certainly willing to give it another go.
It's been a long
my
game. Every time I
experience
played
was-
it's run long. I'll just throw that out there. It overstays its welcome for me. I like it, but I like it at about 2/3 of the length that it ends up being.
Okay,
But,
if it was an hour and a half, hour and 45, that's
Yeah.
probably good.
yeah. Yeah, but go ahead, Ron.
Yeah. So we'll see. I have some other meetups to go to that I like closer to my house. I meet on different days. So I think I'm going to make the rounds a little bit here. But like the vibe of this one Saturday meetup that I want to do, it just wasn't. I don't know if that group is for me.
And that's what I wanted to ask about before you headed out. First, I'll make a comment to what you said to all the folks out there who host games. So if you are a hoster of games, learn from what Ron is talking about here. When it comes to hosting games, you have a greater duty than you think. Anytime anyone walks in the door, whether you've seen them 100 times or never before, like when you set up your game and sit down and play, you need to let the people know, listen, I get it. I'm here to play with you at this table. But if someone walks in, you're going to have to expect that I have to get up, go shake a hand, and say hi, because that's your job as the host, okay? That's what you got to do.
Or have somebody assigned to do that. I mean, if you're talking about a meetup thing,
Rotate it through, and there has to be somebody. Like, I think the Tampa Gaming Guild did it too. Like on the Sunday when they have the free Sunday, and they know they may get some newbies or some randos coming in. They kind of have somebody designated to introduce, walk them around, explain the guild. And then, hey, we got some light games here to play. And I think that's a good thing to do, because there was I can't even remember the game store. There was a game store by my house opened up years ago, and they had a meetup.
Learn to play.
Was it Learn to Play?
Yeah, because I knew those guys. They sponsored my baseball team at Lutz Little League.
Okay. But they used to have a meetup in there, and you sign up on the meetup, and you go in. And when I walked in, I didn't know anybody. I walked in. I brought a bag of games with me. I walked in. There was, 10 people or 8 people or whatever, 10, 12 people already there. They were already in games. Not one person got up to greet me. I kind of just stood there for like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Went out and got a burger at the burger spot right next door.
And then went home. Because, like, and
I've done
like,
that. Yeah.
Like, you walk in and then nobody, everyone's already in games, and no one introduces, no one's like, hey, hey, come here. We just got into this game. Give us like an hour or whatever. There was nothing. It was just like,
right, Ron? Like you walk in and right off the bat,
the vibe.
that vibe is weird, right?
Yeah, because I walked in and like I had a similar experience. Like everybody was engaged, and like there was 1 or 2 people that kind of acknowledged my presence. And I'm not like, I'm an introvert, but like I'm not that much of an introvert. Like.
And I don't need to be coddled or anything, but I just
acknowledge.
Like,
That's it. Just acknowledge.
like acknowledge that you're the host. Like, hey, I'm Carlos. Thanks you for coming. I know everybody's in games. Once we get done with this game, I think we got 10 minutes left on that game. That one's been going for a while, so they might be done soon. Right? Kind of like give them the lay of the land and then get back to your game.
Exactly.
So that's the first point I wanted to make. Second point I had was, tell me more about this argument that was going on when you walked in. Like, come on, bro, give me some deets.
Yeah.
Was there about to be blows? Or...
Yeah, what triggered it? What game were they playing? Like,
I don't even remember what game it was. Like it was some type of I would say like cataclysmic theme game. It wasn't like Atlantis, or anything like that. But it's something like that, where it was an island nation suffering from a cataclysm, and wasn't exactly sure. Like the game was looked like it was a point salad, and I don't know specifically what the details were, because I had just walked in there, but like 2 of the people in the game were pretty cold to each other. wanted to move around tables to make some space, right? And like one person like just moved some stuff on their own. Another person got upset about them moving the tables, but it was like these were the two people that were beefing at the game table before. So it's like this issue in the game was carrying over after the game.
Beefing over a board game, man. You're
Yeah,
right.
It happens.
That's a vibe killer.
Yeah, so I mean, I get people get upset about, you know, we're human beings, right? We have emotions, and even the best of us, we can have our moments, man. Like I just played a bunch of Super Show online tournaments last week, and I did poorly in one tournament, and I didn't lose my temper or anything like that, but like. It was not good. I get it, but it's like you got to control that stuff, man. Like
It's just a
once you're out of the
game.
game, it's like
Just a game.
yeah. So
Like it's like it happens to everybody at least once or twice, right? Or it's gonna happen to you once. You're gonna get upset, irrationally upset because of something, even in a game, right? Yeah. But it's like there are people where it's like on a regular basis. You can tell they're just taking it way like I've definitely taken it too serious once or twice, right? And but it's not a consistent thing, right? I think like you can tell though certain like maybe one of these people you can tell the gamers that are just they're hardcore. They're gonna take it super serious every time. It's nitpicky every little thing. The type of guys that I just forgot. It's now your turn. There will be game. No, you didn't do it during your turn.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I'm not gaming with you again.
I ran at that at the retreat, that Lacerda game, the Raising Robots, the lighter Lacerda, and the guy who was teaching it was William and I were playing it, I think it was, and I think we talked about it on the show before. But yeah, he was a character. He if you took a move and blocked a thing that he wanted, he got pretty visibly upset about it. And then if you forgot to do something on your turn, it was oh no, now we're all just rolling back turns, and now it's just do whatever you want,
Yeah,
so
it's like,
yeah.
dude, it's not like the World Chess Championships where you take you take your hand off the piece. It's like I like to win. I like to take it seriously, but like, come on, it's like go finish your turn, go back and take that, or undo that and do it. Not a big deal. Come on, it's not gonna be the end of the world.
Yeah, exactly. Just roll with it.
All right, so it's time for Ron to check out the prospects that are closer to home.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then report back on how the vibes were there.
He goes there and is like a
Listen, I want video footage. World Star
Bar fight.
like a Waffle House at 2 a.m.
No, that's the wrestling
Am I
game.
at a
That's the
board game
wrestling
shop
game.
or a Waffle House?
Final thing I say, like it was not an awesome experience. It wasn't a terrible experience, but like, it was a bit disappointing. But what it did not do was like squash my desire to find something. So
Good. That wasn't the right group. You just move on.
I like it.
Yeah, but don't burn bridges because it could be the only group.
Hopefully not. There's enough of them out there.
I mean, I didn't say anything. Like I played my game. I thanked people for the game. Like I had already paid for my dinner and everything like that. It was in a restaurant, and I left.
Yeah.
I tried to say goodbye to people once people were involved in the game for that point.
Yeah.
Like so, I kind of stood around awkwardly for a moment, and then I left.
Just rolled out. Yep.
I know that.
I've done
like
that.
I
We've all
felt
been there.
that.
We've all been there. Yeah.
I have felt that where you kind of stand there looking around like,
Does anybody care I'm leaving? Anybody care?
Can I wave bye to anyone?
Slowly back into the bush.
Yeah, there you go, yeah.
Like Homer Simpson right out of there
Just disappear.
into the bushes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Ron Frazier, you made call number 1 for the evening. It is on the board. We got 1 call in, folks. Last week was 0. We have now 100%
Infinitely
improvement
more. Yeah.
from last week to this week, sir. Thank you so much.
No problem. I enjoy talking to you guys.
Yeah, and vice versa. Yeah.
I will call back with more reports.
And we will, God willing, be here for it.
All righty.
Have a good night, Ron.
Good night, Ron.
Take it easy.
Bye.
That is our buddy Ron Frazier from Hot Atlanta. Check him out on Ron Talks Tabletop. Ron talks RPGs, Ron talks Super Show, and board games, all on his channel on YouTube, Instagram, all the social networks.
Yep.
We do have one call on the books, so we got one call down.
Be the first of many.
Wrong camera.
As I'm yawning.
I'm working on the camera angles here.
First of many.
It's nice having Wayne in studio because we get to do the camera switching again. The people like the camera switching.
Full screen.
You know, I get compliments when we do camera switching, so this works out great.
Yeah.
So thank you for joining us in studio. We are
back to the
at the
Twig?
Twig,
Back to
but
the
we
Twig.
got
Oh, yeah.
comments in the
Oh,
chat.
let's hit the comments.
So let's catch up on the comments. Right before Ron called, James Odak confirms that, yes, if you think 4 is bad, try 5 with extra big board. I think we're talking about Terraforming Mars.
Yeah.
Aaron Clark says Terraforming Mars is really good. I just didn't get it to the table because of how long it can get.
Yeah.
Now there's an app that's all that's all you need, bro. Come on.
Oh, no.
I don't agree with
I
that.
still got to get it to the tabletop too, but the app's nice.
Yeah, I have it on Steam. It's really nice.
Yeah.
Ares Expedition scratches the same itch. I do miss the achievements from Terraforming Mars. I don't know if I agree with that.
I don't. Yeah, I don't.
I like Ares Expedition solo.
Ares is
Yes.
not good.
It's hard.
For me.
I like
like it
Ares
solo.
Expedition, but it doesn't scratch the same itch. It gives me. It's almost like being at the same restaurant.
but what's interesting though,
but it's
for
not
you
the
guys
same
that
plate.
like building a tableau, that's all that game is really.
Yes,
Here's the kitty table.
I mean, it's Terraforming Mars. Take out all the terraforming. And
but
stuff
solo
and
is so challenging. I like
I
it.
haven't tried it solo.
Chris is in the chat. Hello, Chris, out of Texas. Gears the Wild Worker really helps the game, says James Odak. We're talking about Expedition. Expeditions. Farhan coming out of Canada,
Hey,
right?
sup?
If
Yep,
I remember
that's
correctly,
right. Yep.
saying what's up. He says, agreed with you guys on this one. I'm pretty sure all of us here have played with such a guy at least once, and I don't get the mentality that drives such
Yeah.
behavior.
Yeah.
I've definitely done that once. I've definitely been that guy once or twice. I think everyone has, right? But you can tell when it's that's the person's permanent MO, right? Sometimes it's like I just need the Snickers bar, you know. I had an off day, off game, whatever. But there are guys that are like that all the time, and I'm just like,
You just next time they show up at the table, it's like, oh, gotta go.
yep.
Yeah, when I was at
it's-
retreat, his wife was playing with us, and the guy had to get up. He got so mad he had to get up and walk around, and his
Really?
wife was like, "Oh yeah, he'll be back in a minute. He's got to go burn it off or whatever."
She had to make excuses for him.
Yeah, exactly. It was something.
Beans and Dice podcast. It's just a game.
Just a
State your
game.
name and where you're calling from.
Good evening, gentlemen. This is Chris from Texas. How y'all doing
Hey,
tonight?
Chris, how are you?
Hey, Chris, when was the last time you flipped a table?
Never flipped a table, but I've left a table before.
Oh, okay. I don't know if I've ever done that. I got to think about it, but I don't think I've ever had to get up and walk away.
I've definitely left the table.
Yeah.
Yeah, Wayne has.
I came back, but I did leave the table.
No, mine was like, hey guys, I'm sorry. Like, like emergency.
Got an
I
excuse.
Gotta go. Guys.
Smart, diplomatic, the diplomat.
Nice. What you got going on, Chris?
Well, I think I told you guys I was going to do Park Second Edition, the deluxified version.
Oh, yeah.
And that was a hit.
Nice.
I did that recently with my parents came over and one of my mom's friends came over. So I taught, people that were in their, 50s and 70s, because my mom's not in her 70s. It's hard to believe. This game, and they really enjoyed it. And it went over really well, and I loved the changes like Wayne had talked about that they'd made. I mean, I played it online, but just having the components and everything just brought the whole experience to life even more. And it's definitely gone up for me since the first edition came out. They've made some great changes, and in my opinion, it's an improved game.
I think so.
Yeah, I kind of do.
Yeah. They streamlined some stuff and added a few things, took away a few things, and I like it.
Yeah, I played it a few more times on BGA, and now it was interesting as I was trying to hunt down the 2 expansions for the original one, because I'm like, well, they're not going to reprint it, so now I get the expansions. But now I'm thinking, maybe I get rid of
You don't need it.
Maybe I go get the new one,
Yeah.
or I pick up the new one eventually, and then get rid of the
Sell
old
the old one.
old one. Sell the old one. Because I really do like the
Yeah.
way they did the canteens.
Yeah, that's cool. And being able to upgrade them and customize them as you go through the game. Yeah.
Yeah, the person who won the game was my mom's friend, and she did the best with her canteen. Like, she had it all filled up, and she was getting a ton of resources from it, and she wound up winning the game because of that. So it made a huge difference. You take advantage of that canteen, it's better than the tools or the gear. Better than the gear. I mean, it makes a
Yeah, I
huge
think so.
difference.
I agree. I've in neither one that really went gear heavy ever in that game, but the canteens, I definitely in this new game I'm going canteen, the new version, more canteens, and then that little special ability of like
Oh yeah, a little card you
your
have.
little
or whatever.
card that gives you a direction on what to build, and then do you take it for end game scoring, or do you take it for in game stuff? And I do really like the way they changed the photography, taking the photos.
Oh, yeah, me too.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You do it at certain different spots now, right? You just trade in a resource.
Trade in a resource, get photos, and then there's abilities to let you take additional resources for additional resources. But it's not this whole like
You're not moving the camera
you're not
around.
moving the camera
and-
around and stealing
yeah.
it back and forth, which is kind of cool. I like that. But yeah, I think they made a game. They made it more decisions, but less complex, maybe. I don't know. Yeah, might be the way I say it, but it's good. I like it. But
And if you have the shutter bug, you get to take 2 pictures instead of 1.
that's what it is.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep.
So you always get to take a
Yeah.
picture. Now you get the shutter bug. You can get to.
Yeah.
I've yet to play Parks. I have Trails. So you guys are saying words. Trails is like the light pocket version of Parks.
Yeah.
Same company.
Right. Yep.
Yeah.
But there's sounds like some similarities in there, like the canteen and the photo pickup. So I'm kind of catching on with what y'all was
Yeah,
saying.
Trails is just kind of a even more pared down version of Parks. It's just lighter and takes a few more things out, a little less to think about. So, yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you like Trails, Carlos, you'll like Parks.
Yeah, same game, just a little more to do.
That's another one you can try on PGA.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a good one on BGA.
The second edition's on
Yeah.
BGA.
Yep, second
edition's
edition's on there. Yep.
So I played that one recently, and then I've been playing some BGA games as well. I'll go over a couple of those. I played Stone Spine Architects today, actually.
Of course.
Call
I was
me
able to pull out
surprised.
a win. Well, yeah, guys, I like it. I was able to pull out a win this time. It was last time I lost. I got scored 94 points
Okay.
and pulled out the win.
Nice.
I did not fill my blueprint up 100%. I actually had one that I could not do.
Oh.
But everything else was pretty good. I got 30 points from connecting my pass, which was always a good.
Yeah.
You can get 15 on each way. That's going to really help.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, I was gonna ask
So
where you
I
got your
played
points
that.
from if it wasn't from the blueprint. Sounds like the paths.
The pass was 30. Then I got my, your 3 objectives that are personal objectives.
Yep.
I got a bunch of points from those. I got like 9 points on 2 and like 12 on 1. So I did really well on my personal objectives. And then I had like a few victory points at the end, just a few of those. So yeah, I think that's the main ways I got it. And then the actual main objective, I don't think I was in the top 2 on that because I played a 3-player game. I don't think I got anything for that, or maybe actually that's not true. I think you do get 3rd place for that.
Even
You
at
get
a
a little
3-player
bit
game.
of points, and then 3-player game, and then I passed second, so I did get the 2nd place passing score. It's like 6 points at the end if you're the 2nd person to pass, and then it's 9 points if you're the 1st person, something like that. So I did get that at the end as well. I like it with 3 though. It's a lot of fun with just 3 players.
Yeah, I know Carlos has really been enjoying his Stone Spire Architects. Yeah.
I suggest they change the name. I'm just saying.
Yep.
Stone
He's been
Spire.
conspiring.
I think the name
He's
we
been
have is better.
conspiring.
I'm working on it. I'm starting a
A
GoFundMe
petition. Yeah.
and a petition for that.
Well. What else have you played?
I've also played a few games of Flip 7 on Board Game Arena.
Okay.
Thoughts?
And yeah, it works really well. I like it. I'm still waiting for my physical copy. I've got it because it's on one of my, Lord of the Rings, Fate of the Fellowship order at Game Nerds. Waiting for that to come out. I still don't have a physical copy yet.
Carlos has
I
got
kind of
20.
kicked myself. I wish I just gone over to Walmart. I wish I just gone over to Walmart and gotten it. But
How many people did you play with online?
I only did a 4-player game. I could
Okay.
play with more, but I just locked it at 4, so I have to wait as long. But with that game, I bet I could probably queue up an 8-player game fast.
I'll warn
There's
you
so many
against.
people playing it right
See,
now.
I'll warn you against it though. I mean, I don't know. Well, I played with I was 6, and it just seemed like there was too much time. We played async.
Yeah.
So it's
Oh, really?
yeah, just the amount of time in between turns.
Well, I think it all depends on how many games you're playing async.
Yeah, could be.
I think because I can totally get it. 'Cause I'm in 2 different Flip 7 games of like 6, one 6 and one 7 or 8. Like they're all 6 to 8 players,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, it is slow. Like
Yeah.
you'll flip a card and then it may be
a day or two.
a day, or it may be later. A little faster than a day. Usually people taking their turns, but it doesn't matter. It makes them in 85 other games, right?
Sure,
If I was
yeah.
in 10 games and I'm waiting for that turn,
Yeah.
it would kind of it would
Yeah.
drag a bit. Yeah.
I don't think I've ever enjoyed a single play of that on BGA.
Really?
Yeah.
I've only played it twice. So
Yeah,
I
it's just
did-
slow.
I didn't do it async though. I did it live.
okay, that'd be
I did
better.
the same with Stone Spine. Same with Stone Spine. I did both of them just real time.
Okay.
It's just like randos, like random people on BGA. You mean?
Yeah, because I have one of the, whatever it's called, the pro accounts where you pay every year, so I
Yep.
can create rooms and then just whoever wants to join, just join.
Gotcha.
Sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
Okay.
So those are 2. What else did I play on there? One other game I played. I'm trying to remember now. Oh, I played that Pixies game. I hadn't played that one in a while. It's interesting. I haven't played it in a while. It's all right. I don't know if you've heard of Pixies. It has that funny artwork. It looks like photography, but they've taken like little picture. You might want to look it up on Board Game Geek, but
Yeah.
it's interesting. It's you play it in 3 rounds, and you're playing these cards, and you're trying to get the most points in the numbered spots. So you have 3, 6, 9 spots, and you're trying to get the most points on each spot. But then you can, if you put a card underneath, you tuck a card under, you can get points for that. And then there's negative points on some of the cards, and there's positive points on some of the cards. And then you're trying to match sets of colors. So consecutive sets of say blues or yellows or reds. And the more consecutive colors you have, you get points for those. So there's a lot of little ways to score points, and it's a pretty quick game. It plays over 3 rounds. It's an interesting little almost pocket-sized game, real small box.
That has got to be the coolest
Yeah, the
artwork
Yeah, Carlos pulled it
I've
up here,
ever
so-
Isn't that
seen.
neat?
I've seen it
Yeah.
before now. That
It's
yeah,
very
It's like that photorealistic, right? It's
Yeah,
like-
there you go.
No, I think it's photos. I think these are like acorns and
Yeah.
pine
Yeah,
cones.
I
They
think-
sculpted into like little creatures.
Yeah, I remember reading something about it. That's what it is. Real photos.
with
yeah.
googly eyes.
Yeah.
They've done something similar with Pokemon cards in the past. They've had like a set of Pokemon cards that had like those kind of art, this kind of artwork.
Kind of reminds me of sea salt and paper,
Mhm.
in like the photo artwork that they're using. How's the simplicity of this game? What's the level?
It's pretty simple. There's not a lot of rules. I would say, if I was going to guess, I would say it's just under a 2.
Oh, are we willing to put money on that? I'm going back to the
Gonna
BGA
test you.
or
Here
the
it comes.
BGG.
Yeah.
All right,
1
Yeah.
point.
1 point what?
1.10, 1.18.
Nice.
That is light.
1.18. Okay. Well, then I guessed it.
It's under 2. No, I think I want to buy that just for the artwork.
Yeah, the artwork is unique. I think. Yeah, I agree, and it's a cheap game.
It's been a while since you bought a game live on
On the show? Still ready. Let's make it happen.
Younger.
I remember when Wayne bought In the Footsteps of Darwin on the show.
Oh yeah.
I recommended it to him, and he bought it right there.
It's a thing.
That was funny. All right, there's 3 right there, and then I think the only other one. Let me see. I played Dice Turn Missions because my son and I are going through the whole campaign. It's like 20 missions or something. So played another
That's the X-Men one,
Mystique
right?
mission. Yeah, X-Men Dice Throne. It's still called Marvel Missions, but yeah, we're using the X-Men characters. You don't have to. You can
No,
actually use
that's
any
the
of
right
them.
way to do it. Yep. MCU be
Yeah.
darned.
Exactly. So we played another one of those. It's harder and harder. It's really cool how the ramp up is on that. And we played that. And then outside of that, what did we play? Star Wars, the deck building games. My son really likes that. We played another game of that. and I think that's it as far as in the last week.
Okay, that's
A
pretty good
spread
week.
of different games.
That is a good week. It's a
Yeah.
better week than me.
Well, it's summertime now, so I have a little bit more time, I think, overall with my son because he's not doing homework all the time. And so I actually have a little more time to play with my son. And then my daughter, she actually, I forgot about this. So Sunday, I took my son to get a haircut, and I wound up playing 2 games with my daughter. And I was very surprised. I brought him with me, and she wanted to play him. I did not ask her to play this particular game, and she saw it. She said, "I want to play that one, Daddy." So she played Colorado, Colorado, I guess how you pronounce it.
Yep.
And I think you guys know that one. And I taught her the game, and she's 5 years old. Taught her the game, and we played it. And because I wanted to make sure I gave her good advice on turns and stuff. And we played that. And then we played one game of Trash Can. I don't know if you guys have heard of Trash Can, but it's you just use it with a deck of cards, regular deck of cards, and it's real simple. Great with young children. But you're basically you put 10 cards out, excuse me. But they're all face down, so you have 5 going across and then 5 underneath. So 2 rows of 5, and then you draw a card off the top of the deck. And if it's a 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, basically, then you put it in the corresponding spot where that card's face down, and then you flip over that face down card. And then if that happens to be one of those numbers, then you put it where it goes, and you try to basically flip 10 cards over. And the first player to flip all 10 cards over wins.
It kind of has a little memory aspect to it.
No, actually it doesn't, because once you flip it over, it stays flipped over.
Okay.
But it's a fun little game. My wife looked it up. I don't know. She found out about it somewhere. So we played that on Sunday, and so that was kind of cool. I was just surprised about my daughter wanting to play Colorado because she usually doesn't want to play games she doesn't know. She's real hesitant unless it's got really cute artwork or something, something draws her in, princesses or something. But she wanted to play it, so I thought that was pretty cool. And I probably played that game about 40 times by now over the years. So that was fun.
Mad props. You have the patience of a saint.
Yeah.
Well, I work in IT, so and I work on the support side of IT, so I've never gone over to development like maybe Wayne does, or I've never done the development side, so I work with people a lot. Yeah. So I've learned to be patient.
Have you tried turning it on and
working
off
with users? Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, actually, when I started my computer business first before I got into corporate, and I would actually go to people's homes, a lot of retired folks, and I would teach them computer skills. So actually, that's kind of one of the ways I started out in IT. It's just teaching people skills on the computer. So I kind of started out with that, and then just over the years, I'm an IT manager now, but I have to have patience with my staff sometimes. I'm just kidding.
I was going to say,
part, they do a good job.
Teaching the elderly how to work a computer cannot be that much different than teaching people in the corporate environment how to use a computer.
In fact, the elderly people are they know they don't know what they're talking about.
Right. That's the only difference.
Yeah.
The other people think they do, yeah.
They're more humble about it.
Yeah.
They're more humble about it.
We all have the terms that we say to people. I always say picnic. It's a picnic issue. And they're like, oh, okay, yeah, it's solved now. Picnic stands for a problem in chair, not in computer.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then the last thing I was going to ask you guys, I know it hasn't been that long, but Poppin' Tot, on the Poppin' Tot channel, we put out our favorite strategy games, the game we've been wanting to do for a little while this year. I don't know if you guys have had a chance to see it, but there's definitely some games on there I know Wayne and Rob for sure would really like, or do really like, I should say. A lot of deck building / worker placement, like Lost Ruins of Arnak and a Rococo for worker placement with deck building, right? You got 2 there, and there's some other games that I think you guys would enjoy.
Yeah.
That are on there. And even my son, he has some games on there I think you guys would like too that he selected for his top 5. We just did 5 games each.
I'll have to take a look. I haven't watched it yet, I'll be honest. So, but I'll get to it for sure.
I'm pretty certain I probably align more with your son than with you.
Oh, yeah.
yeah, you might. Yeah, I think Wayne and Rob will align more with me, and you might align with my son. But he's got some good games on there, too, that I enjoy. they're not in my top 5, but I'd say they're in my top maybe 20 or so. So
have to get Rococo played.
Yeah, I haven't played it since we played it. So
yeah, it's been a while. Yeah,
been a few years.
Dice Tower for sure.
Yeah, do that. Make that happen.
Well, that's basically it, guys. I don't want to take too much of the time from the show, and hopefully we get another caller.
Hopefully, number 2.
You doubled up the number of callers. Rob put it on the board when I wasn't looking.
200% more calls.
200% more calls than last week.
Appreciate you, Chris. Have a good evening.
You too, guys.
Good night, Chris.
Thanks, Chris.
Thanks.
That was Chris out of Texas calling in, doing it like it should be.
Get back to some comments here.
Phone lines are still open, 813-618-7099. Man, the show goes so much faster when people are calling in.
Yeah.
Like it's just like you're
Already after 10 o'clock Eastern. Yeah.
There we go.
Let's see. I got a comment in here from Aaron Clark earlier on that I had missed it. His OGG, so his other geeky goodness. He says, for me this week is he got a Meta Quest 3 as part of a promo for switching to Verizon.
Wow.
Walkabout Mini Golf is a family favorite. Literally watching the show on the headset now.
Oh, wow. Okay.
That's kind of cool.
My kids love the VR headset thing.
Mm-hmm.
I can dabble in it. I just can't live in it.
Make me sick.
Right. And I'm not like a nauseous person. It's just
I am.
it's something about that weight on your head. Like until it gets smaller, then maybe.
Little computer chip in your head. Yeah. Want to go that far? Yeah. What else we got in the chat there?
Let's see. We were at Farhan. Let's see. By the way, I finally played Kinfire Delve.
Oh,
Not
nice.
sure if you guys remember.
Yep.
But we talked about it on a call, and any call before, any of us gave it a try. It deserves all the compliments. I remember Aaron Clark, friend of the show who's already been commenting today, had originally brought it up. I remember this. I think he was the first one to bring it up. And then Rob went and picked it up.
Mm-hmm.
Farhan had talked about it. I've played it with Rob now. Wayne, you haven't had a chance to
I'll
play
have
it.
to bring it and let Wayne play it. Yeah.
Farhan's right. All the compliments it receives, it
good.
deserves.
Yeah. It's good. I want more of it. I want more heroes. I want more bad guys. I want to play more. Yeah.
And I was going to buy one of the box sets. I
There's
figured
3
if
right
Rob
now.
buys one and I buy one, like we got 2/3 of them.
Mm-hmm.
But then when I go to buy it, there's also the play mat. And then when I throw in the play mat, like the whole purchase is over like $50. And then I have to tell myself, is it really worth $50 for a card game? Then I just take it out of my cart and move on.
$100 free shipping. You can get 2 of them.
But then Rob tells me I don't have to buy the play mat. Like you can just buy the $20
game.
box.
Yeah.
Like you can just buy the $20
It is
box.
a thing. You can do it.
I mean, I'm sure you have about 50 playmats.
They're all down there.
And how often do they get taken?
They're by my feet.
There's so much neoprene under Rob's feet right now. It's,
Be sitting on
it's
that.
practically waterproof. Let's see. Janella Miller in the chat.
Hey, Janella.
We introduced a friend to Terraforming Mars this weekend. 3 players with Prelude expansion was a nice balance of engine building and terraforming.
Yeah, Prelude's a must-have. That's an essential. We've talked about that.
But, like, if you guys like to build your engine, why do you need to speed that up? Do you really need Prelude the way you play?
Because you need it to, like,
give you a little direction.
but
I'm just busted.
was there drafting? Was there drafting, Janella?
Oh, yeah. Drafting's that's a must for me as well. But
That's how you refine the engine.
yeah,
The drafting, because you don't always draft, right? Drafting
you can do. You can just deal out the cards and keep as many as
I
you
like
want.
the drafting.
Yeah, drafting's
good.
It's got it. Yeah,
It was funny. I like drafting in any game that you can do it. I think I'd set up a game of what's the dragons and
Drafting with dragons.
See what happens when we get older?
Not
Yeah.
Ethnos.
No, the other one. It's got dragons and wizards, and you're changing out. Hold on.
I'll have to look it up.
Dragons, a board game. Help me out, folks.
Dragons and wizards,
a board
drafting.
game with dragons and wizards
And drafting.
and drafting.
Yeah. Oh God, my brain. Hold on.
If anyone calls it out in the chat before he
before I
says
can
it,
Before Wayne finds
I
it.
will send you a bag of swag.
Oh, really?
If you can guess the game off of that little bit of context clues, you will
with
get
a-
a bag of swag.
And with a
been a
10-second
long-
delay or whatever there is.
It's been a long week with like
So Rob,
graduation.
you're twigging. You
Yeah.
were twigging
Yeah,
before
go
the
do
call.
that.
Yeah, I was gonna just jump into I guess my big thing this last week is we finally completed. I say finally, but we completed the Clank Legacy Season 2. So did you
Res
find
Arcana.
Res Arcana?
Res Arcana.
Okay.
You can draft in that. You can set it up
Yes.
to draft.
Okay, there are
And
dragons.
yeah.
How about
there's-
wizards?
The
There-
dragons.
there's a
and
wizard in there.
The wizards are the characters you're playing back and forth. Those are wizards, right?
Okay. Yeah. Or I mean, there's like there's different kinds of.
James went Dwellings of Eldervale.
Oh, you missed it, James. Sorry.
No,
Sorry,
but
Jim.
anyway, I set up a game of that and I forgot to click draft. And I'm like, oh, I hate this game without drafting.
Yeah. Yep. You just get what you get, and that's the last time I played. I wonder if I was in that game. I played in a game where we didn't have the draft, and I got screwed. I got
Maybe.
all
It was
cards
on
that allowed
BTA?
me. Yeah, I
It
got all
was
the cards
probably
that
this.
allowed me, like the egg that allowed me to hatch dragons,
Yeah.
and all the stuff that gave me discounts on dragons. I didn't have a single dragon in my deck.
Yeah,
It was
yeah,
like,
I think
man,
it's-
that
yeah.
was screwed.
That might have been the game I set up.
Yeah.
I'm like, immediately and in the chat, I'm like, I'm sorry, I forgot to turn on the draft.
No, that wasn't that game then. No, this one ended a couple weeks ago. But
Okay.
anyway,
For this reason, Janella says we usually draft,
Yeah.
but since we were teaching a new player, we didn't draft this game.
Okay, yeah. Drafting's where it's at, I'd say. But anyway, Clank Legacy finished it up, so it was good finish. It wasn't nothing surprising. We all kind of wrapped up we had our little individual storylines, and so we kind of wrapped up each of our storylines, and I compare this to playing the Fenris, Rise of Fenris for Scythe, because I always throw this out there that we played. So we played this. What was it, 8 players? We played, I think, with
The full count.
Yeah, the Rise of Fenris. I think it was 8 players, and it took us months and months to do it because we were playing live in person, and had.
There were even times when we set up a Zoom camera
Oh, yes, Nick. Yeah.
so that Nick, who was in town at the time, could join in
And play
virtually.
remotely,
And then your son Arby was physically here moving the components for him
Yep,
while Nick looked with the camera because we wanted to get this thing done.
Yep. So I compare that end experience. So Nick, that Fenris is a 12 scenario campaign, if I remember correctly. I think Nick won probably 8 of those 12 individual campaigns.
Yes.
Something like that. I swoop in at the end and win the last one just by whatever luck it was and end up winning the whole thing. So it's like, hey! So I know Nick was always a little bit, whether he'll admit it or not, a little bit sour about that. I had the same experience, I think, a little bit in this Clank Legacy. I won. It's another one that was, I think it was 12 scenarios, and I didn't win 8, but I probably won 7 of the 12. And then I get to the end, and there's like 4 awards in the last game for different, the overall winner, the person who did this the most, the person who did that. I ended up with a big old goose egg. I got zippy. So none of the little awards. I actually had little frameable certificates in the game, and you wrote your name on it. It was like, this is the honorary thing for Employee of the Month or Employee of the Year.
That's
or
right.
whatever.
It's
And,
the
Acquisitions
Incorporated.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
Yep, you're all employees of the company, and so it was funny when we first got there. They had the one for the most wins, and Jim just threw their certificate at me. He was like, "Right, Rob's got to have this wrapped up." And we go and we count all the games and everything, count all the points, and it was like, "Nope, actually, I didn't," because it was points. It wasn't the most games won, but whatever. I had won the most games, but then I also had, as in Clank, if you played before, if you don't get out of
Get zero,
the
right?
danger
Yeah.
zone, you get a 0.
That's a DNF.
So I had 3
That's a
games.
did not finish.
Yeah, 3 games. So I won like 7 of the 12, but then I had 3 games and I got zeros in, and I was the only one who zeroed out in 3 games, and so that ended up ultimately killing me. So it was still a fun experience, but it was a little sour at the end. And I did get a little something. It was a 4-player game. There were 4 awards. I got 0 of them, but anyway, it was still fun. Yeah.
Joey Logano won the championship, and I don't think won but 1 or 2 races that
just
season.
swoop in and just win
Right?
it.
You
Yeah.
it's not about winning all the races, just kind of
Consistency.
staying in the top 10.
Get
Just
hot at the
staying
right
in the
time.
top 10.
Yeah, get the hot at the end. So anyway, but no, it was a fun game. If you like Clank, I talked
You were
about
like,
it,
if
so-
you're not first, you're last. You were like,
That's what I was. Yeah, I'm last. I got zippy.
What do they call it in NASCAR? Wreckers or checkers?
Yeah,
Checkers or wreckers?
Yeah. Yep.
Either you win the race or you wreck out.
But it was a good experience. It was fun. So we're talking about our next campaign. The 4 of us want to get together and get into another campaign. So we're dabbling in some different options. And actually, I think we've decided that we're going to do the Ticket to Ride. The
Legends of the West.
Legends of the West. We'll say something about the West, but we are doing that. I think Sam's picking it up. She's going to buy it. And then tomorrow night, we're actually getting together to play Mosaic. We're going to play a 4-player game of Mosaic.
Ooh.
And Sam's going to collect the money from us. We're all pitching in $25. We got the Ticket to Ride for $100. She found it online, actually for $95 or something. But anyway.
That's an expensive title.
Yeah, it is.
You say Ticket to Ride, and you say $100, and I'm
Yeah.
like, oh,
And it's like a campaign. It's just like,
yeah.
don't know how replayable it is after you're done, but
but a smart way to do it. Everybody pitches in $25.
Yeah, that's what we're gonna do on this one. So yeah, looking at that, and then we're talking about maybe after that, if Wayne is available more, we're gonna try. We'd still like to try to play the Flashpoint Fire Rescue, and so maybe jump into that campaign later. So but yeah. Anyway, so that's my biggest news from the last week. So we can go around Robin here if y'all
We'll
got.
pop in the chat real quick.
there you go. Okay.
Aaron Clark is in the chat. I think he's talking about Kinfire Delve.
Okay.
Says I've
Yep.
only played solo, but wow, it's so good, or it is good.
Yeah, it is.
And he
Good.
says, "Get it without the playmat!" Exclamation point.
Just get it. Just get it.
I considered it, but seemed a little busy to me anyway. And plus, you get another set for the price of the playmat.
oh, see, there you go.
See, and that's but that playmat is so pretty. That artwork is so pretty.
But is it, like he said, though, is the playmat too busy?
It's not. You don't even need it. Like
Okay.
the cards.
It's just one little play area. It's not like
Yeah,
you really
it's-
need a
it's
mat.
gonna be
you know?
it's gonna be under here anyway, so it's not.
Yeah, just roll it up, put it under the table.
But it's gorgeous. Beautiful game.
I've almost gotten into the playmat thing a few times, and I'm like,
I've got a couple generic ones at home.
I
and
just
I've-
use the generic. Yeah,
Yeah, I
as
live
long
with
as I
that.
got this now, I'm fine.
Yep.
I don't know. There's something about like a place for everything and everything in its place. Like it just feels good when you got the playmat.
The grip mats look cool though.
Oh yeah, those do look nice. Yeah.
I'll talk a little bit about some of the games I played in the past week. I'm continuing my Star Wars Imperial Assault. That is still
Okay.
going.
Nice.
I'm currently on a mission where I need to blow the doors off of a personnel carrier to get in there and get the data before the Empire gets it. So good stuff. This is set in after the Battle of Yavin, the first Death Star. So it's a good Imperial Assault setting, playing using the app. So mostly solo. Star Wars Imperial Assault, getting to the table multiple times now this past week. Multiple plays of Tokaido. I know we want to give it the beans on Tokaido, so we are. I've
Next week or
played
two, yeah.
with the family. I've played solo, so I've now given the solo 2 or 3 games in this last week of just solo. And then with you guys on BGA, I'm doing the Crossroads expansion.
Got 2 games going right now, but yeah.
Crossroads, yeah.
So that I can learn a little bit about that, and hopefully that'll get me to a place where I can talk about. I'm really trying to give this game a chance. If that's a spoiler,
Oh, yeah.
I'm overheaded. Like
Yeah.
I'm
Trying to give it a chance.
Giving it a chance.
Yeah, it's pretty simple.
It's
yeah.
Tokaido.
Yeah, it's Tokaido. Yeah, we'll get more into that maybe next week. Yeah.
But the big play was for me, Dice Town. That was my big play this past week. My son.
I was wondering why that was out over there.
Yeah.
I was like, that was like that last week.
No, it wasn't. It was way up there at the tippy top of this precariously dangerous stack of games that's about to swallow Rob and I else in an avalanche.
Yeah.
My son was going for Memorial Day with his girlfriend's family. I guess they do a camping trip every Memorial Day, and he asked to take some games. He literally pointed out Dice Town up there. So I got to talk to him on chat. Send him some videos. I read some of the rules to kind of help answer questions for him in preparation for him teaching it to the families, and doing all that like just got the juices flowing. Like, man, this is a good game. So
yeah, it's a good game.
as soon as he got back, like that first night that he got back, I was like, we got to play Dice Town. So the following evening, we set it up, got it at the table, got it taught, and that clackety clack of those little plastic dice cups.
Annoying.
The poker hand. No,
We played that. Was there 3 of us? We played that once.
Yeah,
Did we? Yeah,
with
probably.
Bruno
Nice.
Cathala night.
Yeah.
We did. Was it? No, it was Bruno Cathala. It was not Seven Wonders, but the Lord of the Rings version. I think we did that evening because it's like a Bruno Cathala night.
Yeah.
And yeah, I can't not recommend it enough. Like it I know it's an oldie. I know it probably doesn't get as much love as it should, and there's I think a new edition of it, which really doesn't change a lot. Even the first edition, if you can find the first edition, you can still take that. It's like I really thought of it while playing it. It kind of hit me because wifey was saying she wanted to play a roll and write, so she's like Don Sean Claver, like she wanted to play a roll and write, some kind of roll and write. while we're playing Dice Town, it dawned on me this is kind of a roll and write.
Yeah, a little bit.
You're setting up your roll and then using it to activate locations, right? Instead of like writing on a sheet of paper. So I don't know. Hit a lot of spots for me. Dice Town.
It's a good game. Yeah, I like it.
Nice.
I think from like 2014 or something. The
That's
game
an
was
older
old.
game.
Yeah, it's an older one,
It's been
yeah.
around for a little while. What have you been playing, Wayne? Anything?
I did a couple days, but actually, I want to talk an easy one, Crokinole.
Yeah.
It was good. We had, the holiday weekend this past weekend. We had a bunch of friends, come over in the afternoon because we go to the pool and hang out, and then we got back and everyone's, chatting and catching up because haven't seen people in a while because of school year. Everyone's got young kids type thing. And one of the guys was like, "What's this?" I had it in the case, right? I was sitting on my dining room table. I'm like, "Oh, it's Crokinole." And he said he's reading some fantasy, like some sci-fi novel. And he's like, "Oh, they talk about that."
Really? Wow.
Yeah, I gotta find the name of it. But he said they literally described the Crokinole in like this novel that he's reading. He's like, "I kind of want to play it," so I took it out
In Canada.
in
In a post-apocalyptic
Right,
future.
something like
Must
that.
have been written by a Canadian or
I gotta
something.
play it probably.
Fuel and food is divvied out through matches of Crokinole.
Yeah. But I had done the Kickstarter last year for the what's the company that does the Crokinole?
Mayday.
Mayday
Oh,
Games.
Mayday,
yeah,
yeah.
and I got the
Mayday.
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 Yeah, Mayday.
Day, I think. Yeah.
Mr. Jeeves, Kyle from Chicago, that was called in a few times. Him and I both did the fancy one, the elite boards, and yeah, they're extra heavy.
Pinkies up, ladies. Pinkies up.
Yeah. But no, so I busted it out and I taught it real quick. My kid knew how to play, so he's like, so he played around, and then I sat down and played around, and then everyone just kept rotating through,
Yeah.
and it was like, people were playing, everyone was hanging out and talking. We were cooking food, we were whatever, and games just kept going on, and people just kept playing. Everyone was like, "Oh, this is cool," they kept playing it.
Nice.
And what's funny is because it's been sitting on my dining room table in the carrying case for months now, right? And my kids in my game room, I have my son has his computer, and his friends are over playing Minecraft and Fortnite or whatever, and they're all always up there, whatever. And now that it's not just sitting there in the carry case, I left it out after this weekend. I came home today and I hear
Yeah. Playing it.
they're playing. They're sitting there playing it. So it's like, man, I should just left it out
Yes.
all the time, and it'll just get played because as it's sitting there, they were playing a 3-player game, then they played a 4-player game, and so it's like, all right, I guess I just got to leave it out instead of leaving it covered.
That's the right answer. It's summertime.
Yeah. Agreed.
But it was fun seeing him came back in today, and I can hear the slide and clicks and.
Just got to be careful. Like when the friends are over, I know I left mine out
No sodas.
and it turned into a coaster.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, yeah,
It was
that'll
a
be-
$100 coaster.
I think my son's friends know very well not to like
Yeah, do
mess-
something like that.
something like that. But no, it was cool. So I really enjoyed it. I mean, it's a good game, right? It's been around forever, so that'd be one of my twigs. I like that.
Love me some Crokinole. We need to do another little.
We have.
tournament.
It's been a few years since we've done a tournament, and I think Rob's one of them all.
I'm two-time champ. Yeah.
Yeah.
I gotta bring the board over so you can see the difference
Yeah.
of the elite board versus like the OG boards.
Yeah, I want to see the value proposition. Is it really worth it?
Worth the extra, whatever it was.
Because they're going to do it again.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
sure they are. Yeah, it's heavier. I'll
Nick's
tell you
got
that
one of
much.
them, but I think he just did the regular. Maybe last night I was over there playing Frosthaven, and he pulled it out. He was showing me where he was going to hang it on the wall. So, but his they used 2 different shades of wood, and he's really kind of disappointed that 1/3 of the board is a slightly darker shade than 2/3 of the board. You can see clearly the line.
Oh,
where
no.
where the 2 different shades of
There
wood
were
so-
some production problems
Yeah.
with the most recent. I got lucky. I feel my board is perfect. Right,
Oh,
there's
yeah.
nothing really wrong with it. But I know Tim from the Board Game Rundown, I
Yes.
think, got an elite board too, and like the center hole was like not
that's
right.
right.
It was like crooked or something like that, or the pegs were wrong.
There was a picture posted somewhere, of that.
There was a lot because like he changed like manufacturers for the boards, and then went to a third manufacturer for the elite boards, and it was like they were both like furniture companies, and then they were so hit or miss. Now again though, like
But that's not the first time Mayfair's had issues with production.
they've had issues production, right? And I get if you get a crappy board, it sucks. But from what I've seen, almost always they kind of make it right. They'll eventually get you a new board. It might take a little while, but they'll get you like, I guess when you talk about if you want a Crokinole board and you want it to be perfect, then go get a Tracy.
You got to
board.
go to that Tracy
go
guy
to
up
Tracy
in
boards
Canada.
and spend the $500, $500 or $600 to buy a professionally made board.
Heirloom quality.
Right. If you want to get one that's mass produced for $100 to $200, you run the risk of, it's like if I go to IKEA, I know I'm going to get, 99 times out of 100, the Kallax shelf is perfect. That 1% that you open up the box and something's all screwy with it, okay, I got to go take it back and return it. There's going to be, you ever do math?
Some percentage, yeah.
There's always 5%, right?
Yeah.
Screw up.
Did you play multiplayer Crokinole or just?
Yeah, we did
head-to-head?
mostly 2 players, but then today they were playing 4-player because I bought four sets of discs, so it's cool. I was like, all right, that's good. I'm gonna have to leave this out more often, and I got the mother's spray wax, so
Yes.
spray on there.
Got the spray over here, right behind me.
It worked. That works great. I mean,
Doesn't
it's really
it?
good. You just spray it, wipe it off real quick, and it makes it slide. So, yeah, maybe I'll bring the board over one day. We'll
Do a comparison.
Do a compare. So that could work.
That'll
Have to play
pit our
some.
kids against each other.
Kids, I want to play.
Yeah, I know.
I was gonna
I
beat
don't
up
have
on
a board.
kids.
I got to get a board. Well, anyway.
But other than that, Lost Ruins of Arnak, continuing the kind of the solo campaign a little bit. Getting back to that, it's been a couple of weeks. So
Nice.
yep. And then tonight, Lost Cities. So.
Yeah,
I think I'm leaving Lost Ruins of Arnak up there until the big box comes. At that point, I'll probably bring
You
it
ordered
back
the big
out.
box too?
I did it.
Yeah, I did.
I'm glad to see that they posted up that they're not increasing prices for us, for those that already pre-ordered the big box set.
Yeah. Well, the benefit for them is they don't produce in China.
Yep.
They produce in Czech Republic. So
Oh, nice.
And they just announced that they're redoing all of their code names.
yeah,
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
all the new fancy, colorful boxes and stuff.
Yep, and then using some new cards, more high contrast on the cards, and then also using their rewood for components now instead of
That's their
plastic.
thing. That's because they have that their factory can handle that. That I like, and it's really cool. I love the reword.
Yeah,
It
it's
feels-
cool.
It's really
Feels
cool.
nice.
The brain. It's been a long week, man. Like between the start of
Holiday week and a long week.
holiday week, last week of school for
we had
K through 12,
graduation this past
graduations,
weekend, so
and then first week is summer school for the college. So it's been a messy week. But no, the Code Names app. There we go. That's what I was thinking of. I keep hearing how good the online experience is for the Code Names app.
I don't understand how that would work. I don't know. How do you type in hints? Like,
Must be.
Yeah.
I mean, it would work, right? Yeah.
but then how does it know if I'm typing in one word, 2 words, or not a real word?
It's just like
Come on.
just one online
AI
too.
computers can figure that out,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
But no, what they have is like they have like all these challenges and like weekly or game challenges and monthly challenges and like different gameplay things. I don't know. They won like App of the Year, I think, on BGG. Maybe it was nominated for App of the Year, so it's gotten a lot
I
of.
think
good
the
publicity.
Spiel.
Yeah.
Was it the Spiel? Yeah, because Dune was nominated. Codenames was nominated.
something like that. But it's cool. I wanna give
Mountain
it a shot.
Goats was nominated. I didn't know Mountain Goats had an app.
Mountain Goats is good.
Mountain Goats is
Been
good.
playing that on BGA a lot. It's a little interesting because I've been playing it with my buddy 2-player, and it's like a different game because like you have to like. You don't want to get to the top right away. You kind of want.
You want to knock him down,
You want to like let them get to the top first, and then immediately knock them off. So you kind of
and then have that run.
yeah. Then
while they
run it
try to climb
while they
back
try and
up.
Climb back up. Yeah, it is a different game 2-player because you're trying to. You don't want to unless you can run through it real quick. You get like you roll 4 5s. Okay, I'll run up to 5. But it's interesting. It is a different game at 2-player.
I don't know if I've ever played it.
BGA wise,
sure
I've
we
been
have.
playing Welcome to, and played some Takedo with y'all, and then for the first time playing Lost Ruins of Arnak.
Oh, that's good on there.
It's good on there.
Yeah.
It's not terrible.
I like it on there.
I feel like everything's so compressed. It's hard to remember what
I guess,
your
are you playing
options
on
are.
a phone or are you playing on a PC?
Well, I tend to play on a tablet.
Yeah,
but
that's-
I try to take my turns on the phone because I hate feeling the pressure of
I don't feel that.
it's my turn.
Don't feel that pressure. If you're playing one move a day, you make one
Yeah,
move a
one
day.
move a day.
You know whose turn it is? It's this caller's turn.
you go.
Caller, state your name. Where are you calling from?
It's Aaron from Columbus. How we doing?
Hey, Aaron, how are you?
Aaron.
I'm good. I thought I took up enough of the chat. I might as well call in as well. So
That works. Do both.
Yes, sir. So, mad props for your introduction of Kinfire Delve. I think, if I remember correctly, you were the first one on the show to bring it to our attention.
Turned us on to that one.
yeah, I don't know for sure, but I forget the Dice Tower was playing it. I think maybe at the Winter Spectacular or whatever, and
Sounds right.
I'd seen Z mention it before, and finally I pulled the trigger on it and kind of had my first play of it right before the show. And yeah, I think I'm like 3-5, 3-6. I've played all of them a few times. I still haven't got a win against Scorn Stockade yet. So that's the one.
That's
that,
the one that you have,
That's the
Rob?
one
I'm
I've
still
got.
working on.
Yep.
Yeah, because we got destroyed.
Yeah.
I've won 1 of 5, 1 for 5, I think, on that one. Yeah. It's tough.
Yeah, that was just tough. So,
Farhan was
But
in the
it's
chat.
been
He
great.
says it's probably the cheapest game that I have sleeved just because of the art, says
The
Farhan.
art's nice.
yeah, part of me wants to sleeve it, but then like the insert, everything is perfect just the way it is. But I'd have to throw out the insert for the sleeves, I think, to fit, and I haven't done that yet. So
Conundrum.
yeah, we'll see. Part of me thinks it might be worth it to just throw them all in one box, so that you could take one box and have access to them all. But they're really nice boxes too. So
They are. Yeah. Hate to throw away in the
Yeah.
box.
yeah,
Yeah, the first thing
Yeah,
Rob
so,
did when he got here with his copy was he was showing me the.
Look at the box.
So he takes the box and he's doing this with it, like in my face. He's like, look, if you look at it from this angle, it kind of looks like 3D. And he's like, I'm over here like it's one of those magic eyes where you kind of cross your eyes to try to see the object. And then he flips the inside.
Yeah.
Look at the inside. It's got art on the inside of the box.
well, yeah, I use the other side without the insert as a little dice tray. It's really nice.
That's
It's
what we
got,
did.
like,
Yep.
Yeah, right on the coffee table or an ottoman in the living room late at night, whatever. So, yeah, I mean, it's interesting because with a 3-year-old and other factors, I don't get as much game days in. So I've been really gravitating towards a little bit more solo play and just smaller games. You know, my wife will play some of the smaller ones. So we got Castle Combo to the table,
Nice.
like that. She's played Captain Flip, so we'll do some of those. Or like she likes the exits and unlocks, so we'll pick one of those up from time to time.
Yep.
But really looking at more games I can get to the table solo. I've always leaned more towards more solo card games, but trying to be mindful. Are there any good board games that have good solo modes? For whatever reason, like I know the Stonemaier games get pretty good reputation for the Economo, but
I think
it just hasn't worked for me. I don't know why.
for me,
Maybe I should give it another go.
I think for me, I want to play more games solo, but my problem is setup, right?
Yes.
If the game takes, like, if I have to take 30 minutes to set it up, I'm going to get bored. So I look for games for me that I can set up in 5 minutes and go. And so part of that, speaking of Stonemaier, Finspan,
Yeah, that's quick.
I think Finspan has one of the fastest, easiest soloable versions of all the even amongst the Stonemaier stuff. It's fast. You're set up and playing in 5 minutes. It's a quick game, easy. We talked about it already. Terraforming Mars Ares Expedition is a great solo. It's tough. Like, I don't think I've ever beaten it. And then another Stonemaier game that actually a lot of people hate, but I actually prefer it as a solo, is Red Rising.
I haven't done the solo
Oh, wow.
for Red Rising yet.
You haven't?
No, I've only played it 2-player. I love it at 2-player.
Solo, it's great. It's
I don't recall
super
playing it
fast.
solo.
Yeah. Parks Solo is a pretty good one.
If you've got the capacity and the time and the table space for setup, I'm going to recommend Lost Ruins of Arnak. I found that to be one of the best solo.
Yeah. In the campaign, you can play solo, which is really good.
Okay, yes, you can. But what I love about the base game solo is the ease of the bot. And, like, there are some games that I played. Turksky, did the solo rules for them. And there was so much management of the AI bot that it took away. Lost Ruins of Arnak makes that so easy. Tokaido is not one that I'll recommend. Spoilers from when we do the Give It the Beans on solo.
Giving out a lot of information. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've given up a lot of my feelings on that
Yeah.
one.
Next week.
but for me lately, one of the solo ones that I love, and I can't recall what your thoughts on Heat was, Aaron, but if I remember correctly, it wasn't a negative feeling. But Heat solo, I really like it. I like the racing aspect.
So it's funny. I actually just pulled Heat out tonight to kind of look at it because Sam Healy just did a playthrough this afternoon on his channel with one of the expansion solo, and again, the controlling multiple cars, but it looks like it's so streamlined and simple. I think I may try and get that out. So I pulled Heat out to the table just to kind of look over the solo stuff. And
I ran through my own little campaign, my own season. Just playing against the legend cars. I'm waiting for tunnels to arrive next week. So I'd already ordered it. I'm waiting for tunnels. It's supposed to arrive sometime next week. The new tunnels expansion. So I'm excited to get it back to the table to get some more solo plays of it. I don't play the multiplayer game anymore without the legend cards. That's how easy the game is to play with the legend cards. The legendary or legend, I can't remember the exact terminology, but it just adds it's a super, you flip one card and it tells you how every colored car behaves. That is a solo bot car. And it just allows for more slipstreaming because now you have more opportunities to get snuggled up behind the car so you can slipstream around it.
Yeah. So I think that might be on my list. I've only played that a lot of times. I bring Heat out. It's a bigger group, so we're teaching a couple people. So we just, standard stuff. But I'd love to get some of the garage module upgrades played too. So I think Heat might be on my list to mess around with. And
that's why I did the solo campaign, because it let me play through the building of the car over a season and kind of, work in that deck building aspect of the game. The deck construction, I think we can call it that. Not maybe deck building, deck construction aspect of the game, which was really enjoyable. So, yeah, good call out, Heat.
Yeah. And then you mentioned the other one, which actually kind of brings me to another talking point, kind of, I guess, news related. The Lost Winds of Arnak, one of my favorites in my top 10. I have not played it solo yet, but man, the thing that is a challenge for me, that box is a mess. I've got everything in baggies. The setup for that one, to Wayne's point, I think I think that's part of the reason I haven't done it.
Yep.
I need something to kind of help because I've got the one expansion thrown in and it's like almost already to the brim, and then the campaign expansion that they came out with is in its own separate box, because putting that all in with the other stuff just that feels insane to me. It would just be complete chaos in that box. And so I did, and we might have talked about this briefly, but I did pre-order the new box that's coming. Unfortunately, I pre-ordered it with the other Heat expansion through Boardlandia. So as we all know, they filed for bankruptcy and shut down. So I reached out to them in hopes to get a response and try and figure out if they're doing pre-orders, and just crickets. So I've had to kind of look at my credit card now to try and get some of the pre-order money back. But so we'll see how that goes. But yeah, it's a little disappointing. And
is CGE still taking orders? Because I went directly through CGE
very quickly. Yeah, I thought about that, but there were some other pre-orders I wanted to get, and I was like, I could just do this.
Oh, because you can combine it and you get the free shipping.
Yeah.
Are they still taking it now? Like, could you go to CGE now and maybe pre-order it? But
I'll look. I don't think so, but I know, I think Game Nerds. I think there might have been one other online retailer that was still doing it. So I may put another.
Yeah, I did hear that CGE, they were probably going to print a certain amount extra, so they probably will have that. So they will have.
They said that in their video.
That's interesting. I thought that's crazy that Boardlandia. So that's an interesting thing that I haven't heard yet, that of somebody that had pre-ordered and paid for games that they're not refunding and not following through there. That's a little rough.
That's sad.
Yeah.
It sounded like they took care of most of the outstanding orders and got those shipped out, but anything that was pre-ordered, I mean, they left people in the dark. So it was really funny. We got a letter in the mail even, that called, because I think I had the pre-order, that called out the bankruptcy. So I finally, after not getting a response, reached out to my bank and was like, hey, can we get this removed? So little complicated, but hopefully I get the $100 back and throw that at something else. But
getting the money back,
that's a
it's
game
still not gonna, like, to me, like, the box is what I wanted. Like,
I know.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna need that box for that game. And big boxes are hit or miss sometimes, but that one doesn't feel that big compared to the original. And wow, does it look like it will keep things organized?
It looks like the box. It's a big box designed for setup.
that's the point, Wayne.
Yeah.
And their mindset wasn't, I'm going to give you a nesting box that holds all the games. Right? No, this is a box designed to make setup easier.
Yeah, because the Wingspan nesting box, the Viticulture wine crate, the Castles of Burgundy big box don't make it easier to get the game.
The Everdell's big box with all the drawers and like.
I tell you what, the Canvas. So the Canvas game, they have the 3 versions of it, and then they came out with the big box. That is, I gotta bring that by because you'll flip because it's perfect. It's got the drawers you just pull right out.
I don't understand how they made a big box out of Canvas. Like, Canvas was a very small box.
But it's not even a big box. It's not really even a big box. So it's not even that much bigger than Heat.
So we call it a big box, but it's really not a big box.
I'll bring it next time.
It's a big box for Canvas.
It's a big box for Canvas because it was 3 small, 3 tiny boxes. But it is probably one of the most perfectly designed boxes because it's got a slip cover. You pull the slip cover off, you put the box down, you pull the drawers out, you roll out the mat, and you're done, and you're playing.
Boom.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's something to be said about box organization. As an example, anecdote, I just talked a little bit about playing some Imperial Assault, and I have not played a lot of Imperial Assault, which is sad. I've owned the game a long time, and I've not, because there is a big issue with setup. There is setting up the map, picking out the tiles, finding the minis, sorting the deployment cards. All that stuff takes time, which draws away from your desire to play. I bought the Broken Token insert a few weeks ago, put it together, and I have found myself like picking up the game, putting it on the table, getting the game knocked out, and putting it away. You guys showed up today, and I had a whole setup.
Yeah,
the game set up on everything set up. Less than 5 minutes, it was all organized, back in the box, and it's ready to deploy again on the next play. Getting a proper insert is huge.
Yeah, it does make a difference. I'm looking forward to that. But I think that's really kind of what's been on my mind lately, and on the table. More solo games, more small games. So a slower start to the year. But the next month, 6 weeks, pretty exciting. So I had the game for a while, but they finally opened the app or launched the app for Dark Quarter. So that showed up a month or so ago. So I don't know when I'll get that to the table. Having a group, maybe I'll do that solo, but that feels like a fun one to have with a group and enjoy going through each person's story a little bit. So that's an exciting one. And then the second campaign for Earthborn Rangers is shipping any day now. So a lot of people are excited about seeing what they're doing there and just adding, it's kind of got that LCG sort of card game format. So adding just new player cards to previous campaigns and runs. So those are kind of the big purchases. But we've got Origins coming up in Columbus in 2 weeks, and I'm going to go to that for the first time in, before the pandemic. So I haven't just really made the time, but going to take a day and go experience that. And then a couple trips back home with some family to get some games in, 4th of July, some distant family in that likes the game. So I'm excited to see come mid-January what all I've gotten to play and what Origins look like. So
nice.
That Mad Props Origins, that is a destination for me eventually.
Yeah, I've been once, a long time ago. Been 10 or 12 years.
Must be nice living in Ohio next to all the big cons.
Well, it's just Origins.
Yeah.
In Ohio.
But I mean, you head south a little bit. You're in Indianapolis. How far of a drive is that?
It depends on where in Ohio you
2.5
live.
hours.
2.5 hours?
From Columbus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like Orlando, bro. Like,
Yeah.
Indy's like an Orlando away.
Gamma's going to be, and Gamma's in Kentucky right now.
That's
We're in
moving.
Louisville for another, 2 years.
Two more
Still
years.
one more year, at least in Louisville.
Mm-hmm.
And then it'll go to Baltimore.
Baltimore, yep. Which I'm excited about that because I've got family up that way. So
Then we got, I got family up that way, and so
There
does
you go.
Nick. So
Okay.
maybe we all
Yes,
go to
go to
go join Gamma one
Gamma
year.
Train Show. Yeah.
Join because we can join. We could join Gamma now.
Yeah.
They accept content creators.
Oh,
as members.
right.
Is that what we are?
Yeah.
But Gamma's, I went to Gamma once because when my buddy owned a game store. Gamma's a totally different convention though, because Gamma is really like
Insiders.
yeah, and like we went when we went to Gamma, it was in Vegas, so we all went out there to Vegas, and then Gamma was like it was all the game companies, and they're just demoing, and they're trying to sell you the game. Like how many copies do you want to buy for your store? You
Oh,
know, type
wow.
thing. Yeah, they're like
I don't need that kind of pressure.
right, yeah. So it's not like any of the other like gamer cons. It's really
But we'll have Aaron
wear the
call
ba-
in.
You wear
Yeah.
the badge that says content creator, and you're like, hey, just give me a copy.
We'll send Aaron a pin, a little
Yeah.
Beans and Dice pin, and he can be like an official content creator in Origins.
Origins,
He can be
yeah.
like our Beans and Dice Origins call in. You know,
they'll say this
report.
the friends of the show, the board game rundown folks. They have, I think they sometimes even have a booth at Origins.
Oh, nice.
So,
Really?
yeah. So
Oh, well.
Tim.
and Mike and those guys, yeah, from Board Game Rundown, because that Origins is a big one for them. I think Secret Cabal is also pretty big at Origins. That's like
Yes.
their big con.
Well, Aaron, keep me updated on Dark Quarter. That was almost my second Kickstarter ever. I was so close to pulling the trigger on that one.
Mhm.
So I want to hear about that. I haven't heard actually anybody who's played it yet. So I know in our group Dan's got it, but I know he hasn't had a chance to play it yet. So, but yeah, I mean,
they just launched the app on like Monday or Tuesday. They've been behind on getting some of that developed, and you know how those things go. So I can't imagine
yeah,
trying to launch a physical product and an app at the same time, and making those two things launch
sure.
together seems pretty much impossible. But yeah, excited. The product looks good. I mean,
Hmm.
Destinies and
Yep.
and Chronicles of Crime, very very big favorites of mine. So I'm
Yeah.
excited, and the theme here is better than the Destinies theme in my opinion. So we'll see how it goes. I may have to take a stab at it solo because getting a group together to play through that a bit seems a little more challenging.
Mm.
But there's a decent amount of content in the box. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Nice.
I'll let you guys get back to closing out the show. I know there's some other things you want to talk about, but glad I could be caller number 3. And,
300% increase.
300% from last week.
3 on the board, 3 calls. Thank you, Aaron.
Thanks for calling, Aaron. Have a good night.
yeah, thanks guys.
Thanks, man.
You too.
Yeah, Origins would be one I want to get back to.
That'd be fun. Yeah.
I almost would go back to Origins before Gen Con. Gen Con's just too big.
Yeah. I'll do all of them one day, I hope. But
I've been to that convention center for a different convention.
Yeah.
Wifey was at it. Her and I made the road trip up there, and the city was beautiful. I did a lot of walking, a lot of scootering around, checking out the sites and the board game shops. A lot of board game shops and board game cafes up there. It's a beautiful city. Let's get to OGG, other geeky goodness. The only one that I've got is, I know, but last week I talked about wanting to get back into reading like a hard copy of something, like an actual paper book.
Oh, what did you get?
I went and shopped my own shelf. Can you believe that? I shopped my own shelf. There's a book that I read a few years ago, Twilight Company, Star Wars Twilight Company, because I went to Barnes & Noble and I went looking around and I just could not find a Star Wars title that stuck out for me. I'm playing Imperial Assault, right? I like connecting multiple facets of my hobby. Like when I get into something, I like immerse myself. Like I want to watch all the movies, all the shows. I want to read the books,
Yep.
and like,
And then a shiny red ball.
and then something else.
Yeah.
So I shopped my own shelf because I remembered I had a copy of a book that I read. I think I'm trying to remember the name of the author. Either way, it is so like perfect for playing Imperial Assault. Reading this book, Twilight Company, because it is effectively Rainbow Six meets Star Wars. It is a company of like special forces, rebellion troopers that are infiltrating locations, sabotaging things. You got snipers and hand-to-hand combat and rappelling into like, battles and fights. So it's that whole Andor insurgency feeling, which is also mimicked in Star Wars Imperial Assault because you're playing a small group of troopers going in to complete an objective and get out. So like with me reading that on the physical copy and then getting Imperial Assault to the table, I'm in my element right now. I'm in a good place. I'm back to reading physical books, which is kind of nice. I'm surprised how quick I'm going through it. I think I'm better able to pay attention to the physical copy of the book than I am when I'm reading like on my phone, right? Because
Yeah, it's hard reading on a phone or a
It is.
tablet. I do audio books maybe, but yeah, I still need a physical book for reading, I think.
the thing that I miss though is the backlighting, I
No backlighting for your books,
right. It's time for bed. Wifey's shutting everything down, and the lights are going off, and I'm all like. So there was one night I sat there with like a flashlight, like in the bed,
That's
like turned the
sad.
other way.
Sad.
Like when you were a kid, you kind of read under the covers of the flashlight. Like that's kind of where I was at. It was like, I wanted to get just a few more pages. The next thing I know, like an hour's gone by. I'm like, oh, I gotta get to bed. I got to work tomorrow. So
Nice.
for me, Twilight Company, a Star Wars novel set after the Battle of Yavin,
Nice.
right after New Hope.
Thanks for me, really. I mean, Mobland, which is
Still watching?
still
Yeah.
watching it, still okay.
A lot of articles coming out about Mobland.
Yeah.
Specifically having to do with the accents between what's her name? Oh,
Helen
and
Mirren?
Pierce.
Helen Mirren
And
who
Pierce
plays
Brosnan.
And Pierce Brosnan. Yeah, they're thick. You have to. I've used to watching that kind of stuff because I watch a lot of British.
Supposedly they're
Irish television.
getting panned on how bad their accents
Yeah,
are.
not necessarily 100% accurate to like Irish accents type thing. And
I think one of the titles I read was "How is Tom Hardy not the worst accent on the show?"
I love Tom
really?
Hardy. Tom Hardy's so good though, man. I love him. What else? I watched Mobland and Welcome to Wrexham, which I love, soccer stuff. This past weekend was the end of the soccer season, so my team Liverpool won
Nice.
the league, the champion, their 20th time winning the
Top league.
Yeah, the top league, the English Premier League. They're now the winningest club in English history.
Yeah, it's
Again,
easy to be a fan of Liverpool.
well, they weren't for a long time. It's, they were really good teams in like the 60s, 70s, 80s, and then Man U came. Manchester United dominated for a
So
long time.
brave of you to be a fan.
Hey, when I was following them, they weren't that good. When I first started following them, they were mid-table. But was it I tell you, the oh my god, my brain just keeps freezing tonight, man.
Welcome to Wrexham.
I'm sorry. I'll stop
I know,
interrupting.
he's
I'll
interrupting
stop.
mid-sentence. I was gonna say something, but anyway, I'll let Rob. Rob, you go ahead and I'll remember.
I haven't a whole lot. We've been almost done with
Last of Us?
Last of Us. Yeah,
Okay.
that was it. It jumped out of my head. Last of Us. So yeah, it's pretty good.
It's really good, right?
Yeah, it's a good show. So it's getting better as it goes along. I haven't got back to Andor yet. Still waiting for the oldest son to catch up. I told him, like, if you don't catch up soon, we're just gonna go on without you. He's all bitter about it. But
season 2 of Last of Us just ended,
yeah,
and it was not as good as season 1,
okay,
but because the second game is just so big. So like the first season is really just the entirety of the game 1, right?
Yep.
So that was great. Season 2 is really like 25-30% of game 2. So
Okay.
they're definitely missing and stuff, and they're kind of just joining it a little bit. They're focused on one character, and they obviously going to go to a second. Because in the game you end up playing multiple characters. So this weekend we went and saw the Thunderbolts.
Oh, okay.
Thunderbolts.
Yeah, I've heard good things.
It's good. Yeah, it was very good. It was different. I mean, I love the actors and that the guy from Stranger Things who played Sheriff Harper.
Oh yeah.
Harper, and he's the Russian guy,
Yep.
and then so it was good. Good acting. Good, the good kind of like. Not anti-hero, but they are kind of anti-heroes and screw-ups that are like, and they're fighting somebody that just is 10 times, like, there's no way they can defeat it, right? So they have to find kind of an alternative way to beat the big bad guy. But then the tie-ins, right? The after-credit scene, not spoiling anything really, that's going to tie to Fantastic Four.
Okay.
It comes out this summer. And then just the trailers, so we're sitting there watching the trailers, and it's like Superman. And that Superman trailer's epic, right?
It's funny how people are split on that. I talk to some people and they're like, "Oh, that looks like it's so stupid."
Oh, God,
And then I talk to other people who are like, "Oh, it looks so great." So yeah.
Great. Come on. So great. So you have that, then you have Fantastic Four, and then like my kid, like they have the Bad Guys 2,
Oh yeah.
which is like the graphic
Animated
novels,
thing,
that
yeah.
animated thing, and Jurassic World, another Jurassic Park.
with I saw the trailers for that.
Yeah.
With the genetically enhanced dinos.
Yeah. And they're traveling.
I was
around
going
trying
on
to
a
get
rabbit
over-
hole watching those videos.
Yeah. So like just all this, there's like a lot of movies this summer. They're like, okay, this is gonna be a pretty good movie for summer for movies.
Well, something I didn't expect. on that topic is this Memorial Day weekend broke records for all Memorial Day weekends.
Yeah, it was a big
Really?
one.
I
Yeah,
did not
Wow.
expect that between
really?
MI 25.
Oh,
what are we
yeah.
at?
To
MI
30 or
25?
40 or 50. Yeah. Mhm.
The last Mission Impossible.
That thing's like 2 hours and 49 minutes or something.
Is
I
it?
saw. Yeah, it's almost 3 hours long.
And then Lilo and Stitch, right? So the live action
Live
Lilo
action,
and
yeah.
Stitch, between those two
Kids
movies,
are dying to see that. Yeah.
they broke a record for
Nice.
Memorial Day weekend. And post COVID, I
Yeah.
just didn't think we would ever get back to where we were
Mhm.
with theaters and movies. So that was a pleasant surprise to see. Okay,
Yeah, you got a Karate Kid movie coming out this summer. I'm like scrolling through How to Train Your Dragon, the live action How
yeah.
to Train Your Dragon. There's another John Wick, a movie in the John Wick universe that's
I
coming
think Top
out.
Gun.
Top Gun. 28 years later.
Oh man, 20,
which that trailer-
28 days,
Yeah,
28 weeks, and now 28 years.
So I mean that's a good one. Jurassic World Rebirth is another one.
Which that one I'm still like I'm watching all the stuff on it because I'm not sure how I feel about it. Like it's getting into that fantastical element,
Yeah.
but not too far fetched. But I think it's going to end up being more horror, like
Which one?
Jurassic Park.
Yeah, a little bit maybe.
The new Jurassic Park.
Rebirth.
The Mandalorian Grogu movie coming out.
Coming
Sorry,
out, yeah.
what?
Fantastic Four. Yeah.
Mandalorian Grogu.
They have a
You-
Star
You heard that's
Wars.
why they stopped doing the series, The Mandalorian.
They're
I did
doing
not
a
know
movie,
that.
Yeah, they stopped doing the series because they're doing a movie now. So yeah.
Fantastic Four, Happy Gilmore 2.
I bet my wife will go see that one.
Oh,
she,
yeah.
she wanted a movie with Yoda in it,
Yep, that's
and we did not give her that. We gave her
Yep.
Rogue One.
it. Yep, you screwed that up. So
Screwed that up. But I think I can redeem myself if there's a movie with just Baby Yoda.
Baby Yoda. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, lots of stuff coming out this summer. Yeah.
I watched Nobody, which was I guess a guy from Better Call Saul plays like he's like
A
Gotta-
nobody.
he's a nobody. He was a CIA hitman and now he's a family guy and something happens and he gets outed, so he's got to go kill everybody. Bad but fun popcorn movie.
Is that movie Novocaine out yet? Have y'all seen that one? That's with the guy from what's this? The really dirty superhero movie show, not movie show, where
Boys.
The Boys. It's one of the characters from The Boys is in it. Novocaine. He's got like no nerve endings or something. He can't feel pain or whatever.
I think
and-
that's been out already.
Is it? All right. I
maybe.
wondered how that one was doing. I was. That one looked kind of
Boys
interesting.
it's such a good show, but it's hard
Yeah,
to watch.
Boys is great.
It's great, but it's hard to watch.
Yeah, I've only heard about it. I haven't been. I haven't watched
You
it.
Vid Angel.
Yeah,
you get
Vid
like
Angel
a-
would- you'd
get
see
about
2 minutes
30
Well, we
of that.
did. We vid Angel Invincible, and that worked out well.
But but the problem is like the last 5 minutes of the first episode of Invincible is like the greatest thing, and I got to think Vid Angel cut half of it out on you.
It doesn't skip. It just kind of bleeps out the audio,
Okay.
so you just don't hear the cuss
you
words.
see all the
Yeah.
gore and everything.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, all right.
You can turn on that setting. You can.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a setting.
Yeah, Invincible's good.
You'd be surprised, like all
Yeah.
the settings in there.
Yeah,
It's
I
a
guess.
it's a wonderful system. I cannot recommend it enough to parents who want to watch TV like in front of the family, but are concerned about language. Whatever you're concerned about, you decide what filters you want to put on. It's a wonderful setup. They're not
Yeah.
paying me to do this.
Yeah. We just kind of like my kid this weekend, like a couple of kids in our neighborhood, they went to go see the new Final Destination movie, and our kid, he's like, "Can I go with them?" I'm like, "Nope." Why not? I'm like, I don't like horror movies.
That's the other one I want to see. Final Destination.
Yeah, I'm like, no, thank you. I don't.
No, I have no interest in that
I
one.
can still never drive behind a tractor trailer with like moms. Or like there's like a truck with like a pipe sticking on the back. I'm like, nope, not driving behind that.
You start looking around for your water bottles. Like, where are my water bottles?
yeah.
They all need to be in cup
I was
holders.
paranoid, yeah.
That was great because I was watching Tropic Thunder out here, and Julian had his friend over, so I made sure the settings were set to enjoy the movie without all the cuss words. I didn't have to worry about the kid going home and telling his parents about all the foul stuff he heard watching Tropic Thunder. But next thing you know, the kid is sitting next to me and he's watching the movie with me, and like Julian wants to get up and go, and the kid's like, no, we're watching this. So it's a great way to enjoy film with family.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess.
That's about it for my OGG.
Yeah, it's been a slow week, obviously. I mean, with Andor over. Oh, I did start watching. Was it you, Rob, that talked about the Delicious in the Dungeon?
Oh yeah, Delicious
Yes.
Dungeon. Yeah,
I'm like 2 episodes in now.
Are ya?
2 or 3 episodes in. I started watching that. I'm like, oh, this is kind of interesting.
it's funny. We haven't finished it yet. Still, we catch them every now and then when we're all sitting together. I'll flip it on and be like, oh yeah, let's watch another one of those.
Yeah,
so
yeah. That's
it's
what I'm saying.
fun.
It'll be like one of those ones that I just kind of watch
Yeah.
periodically through the thing.
Yeah, it's good though.
It's a good one.
funny. Yeah.
I haven't finished it either.
Yeah.
When I think about it, I pop it on.
Yep. Exactly.
I did find a new hobby.
New hobby?
I guess it's hobby-ish.
Hobby-ish.
I didn't know this was a thing, but there are people who will handwrite the Bible, like as
calligraphy.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I mean, okay, so like
calligraphy and illumination.
before the Gutenberg press, apparently this is how it got around.
Oh really?
People,
Shocking. People used to have to copy things.
so like it's a thing where people, as part of their devotional, their weekly, their nightly routine, is they copy word for word the Bible. And I started doing that as kind of like another hobby, another thing. And I'm finding it like really interesting because it got me thinking about like board game rules. Like the more I'm going right now through the book of Luke, I'm copying the whole book of Luke down by hand. And I'm really understanding it in ways that I've never like stopped to think, because now I'm writing it word for word. And I started thinking like, if I handwrite a board game rule book, like I will grok those rules in a way that like never before.
You'll know that one game really well
by memory.
Yeah.
And then I can pass down generationally my handwritten copy of the rules for brass.
Yeah.
Like,
How long will that last?
can you imagine my kids open up Ticket to Ride and there's the rules and then there's Poppy's handwritten version.
That only has like half the rules and then it
Yeah.
tails off. So it's like, he threw out the real rule book and
He died writing this one.
you get half of Luke and that's
Yeah,
about it.
yeah.
That's it. We'll see how long this hobby lasts. I'm currently adding this to my list of hobbies, which
Yeah.
is
I'll be interested to hear the updates on that one.
Now we have to come in though and see him coming in like illuminating it, like
Oh, yeah.
all like the
I have no artistic
scroll
skill.
work on the side.
No.
If you look at it, it looks like a kindergartner has written.
using like double ruled paper.
Oh yeah, double wide.
And what's tough is I cannot decide if I like to write in block or in cursive.
Go back
So
and forth.
yes, like 2 words in cursive, 1 word in block,
Wow.
half the word in cursive, and it finishes in block.
It's like half Spanish, half English when you're talking, or yep. Okay.
This is an insight to my brain.
okay.
It's really tough to be in this brain.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
That's cool.
All I gotta say is pray for my wife, light a candle for
I mean,
her.
there's something you said like I mean, in not joking around, is like you read something and then you write it. Then you listen. If you listen versus reading versus writing, you're looking at it in different mediums. Your brain will react differently. So
Yes, and that's what I'm saying. Like I think the biggest thing I got out of it is my brain is reacting to these things that I've read hundreds of times before in a completely different way. So for those folks interested in something like that, check it out. I'm weird like that. There's my OGG for the evening. And on that note, I think it's 11 o'clock.
After 11, yeah.
I want to thank you all who stuck around for that nonsense. Much appreciated. 3 callers for the evening. Thank you to Ron Frazier, to Chris from Texas, and my man Aaron from Ohio for making that 300% better than the last show. I'm Carlos.
I'm Rob.
I'm Wayne.
Thanks for watching the Beans and Dice podcast. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Tell your friends.